it from Peter today, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. Why not pray for a long fellow? He can pray for a long life. As long as they live, you know, the better we grow. Fine, power is fine, oh, it can make you heavy. It's just like a volcano, it's way to capsize. Sweet, sweet kiss our liver. Not for go alone. He might be can eat it, or a picture can eat it. Kiss our lee, oh, sweet kiss our lee, oh. Not for go alone. You take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. You take it from Mary today, oh, mother will take it from you tomorrow. Fine, oh, by your fine, may your feel. Well, people do to you, you dare to cry. Had enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time. Our time is a lesson, yeah, brother, this I have. Sweet, sweet kiss our liver, not for go alone, mama. Human being can eat it, oh, the deer can eat it. Ah, good our liver. Sweet is our liver. Sweet is our liver. Not for go alone, yeah. Sweet is our liver. Not for go alone. You take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. Why not pray for a long fellow? He can pray for a long life. As long as they live, you know, the better we grow. Fine, power is fine, oh. It can make you heavy. It's just like a volcano, it's way to capsize. Sweet, sweet kiss our liver, not for go alone. Human being can eat it, or a picture can eat it. Kiss our lee, oh, sweet kiss our lee, oh, not for go alone. You take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow, mama. You take it from Mary today, oh, mother will take it from you tomorrow. Fine, oh, by your fine, may your feel. Well, people do to you, you dare to cry. Had enough for one person, oh, it's a matter of time. Our time is a lesson, yeah, brother, this I have. Sweet, sweet kiss our liver, not for go alone, mama. Human being can eat it, oh, the deer can eat it. Ah, good our liver. Human beings can eat it, other creatures eat it too. Sweet, sweet, living is sweet, oh, whether rich or poor. When I pray for long fellow, they can pray for long life. As long as they living, the better we grow. You take it from me right today, oh, Peter will take it from you tomorrow, mama. Hey. You take it from Peter today, oh, Paul will take it from you tomorrow. Fine power if found, it can make you heavy. Looking like a crooked no, equate to capsize. Kesawalia, Kesawalia, mama, no for go alone. When I pray for long fellow, he always pray for long life. As long as they living, the better we grow, my people. Sweet, sweet, Kesawalia, no for go alone. After not for one person, oh, it's a matter of time, Papa. After is a lesson, yeah, brother, this ahead. I'm about away, never where my way gone. Be your woe. I'm about away, Papa, yeah.
What a pleasant time it is to be back here. Again, folks, we'd like to say good evening to all of you and a warm welcome. Vic Sealing to BKS TV and welcome to the Hit Hour program here on BKS TV. On the Hit Hour, we say dialogue and not confrontation. We say words and not bullets. Today is the 26th day of October, AD 2025. And of course, it's 8 minutes past 8 o'clock in Liberia. And it's also 8 minutes past 10 o'clock in Rwanda, East Africa, 8 minutes past 3 o'clock in Minnesota, USA. On today's edition of the show, we're going to be hosting Mr. Shadrach G. Thomas Tuoki, the chairman for NIMA for We Are 2023, will be our guest here tonight on the show, and we'll be discussing NIMA politics, Liberia politics, and also the CDC strategy to come back 2029. It's going to be a wonderful show here tonight. But let's bring you some major updates here vexively on the show, starting with this one. Senator Samuel Koga of Nima County donated a sum of 1,000 United States dollars to the Buyao students residing in East Africa. According to Senator Koga, he could not visit East Africa without meeting the students from his home district while sending the money through student Johnson Mekalo Nuna. Senator Koga encouraged the students to remain focused on their studies and to make Buyao, Nima, and Liberia proud by successfully achieving the purpose for which they came to East Africa. And still on Senator Samuel Koga too. Now let's go for this one. The office of the Vice President through Honorable Aramatina Ketingma on Saturday, the 25th of October 2025, donated 1,000 United States dollars to the Union of Nima students in East Africa, making a donation. Honorable Aramatina Ketingma, representing himself and the office of the Vice President Jeremiah Macron, donated the sum of 1,000 United States dollars as financial aid to the Union of Nima students in East Africa. During the donation, Honorable Tingba highlighted the formation of his new initiative, the Nima Solidarity Group, which he aims to promote all Nima politicians. However, he emphasized that the group is currently focused on protecting and promoting Vice President Kong, whom he described as the county most senior official and potential future president of Liberia. Nima now has a strong and beautiful political population that must be protected by its people, Honorable Tingman stated. When asked by press why the group isn't presently supporting all Nima politicians, He explained that the focus is on the vice president because of his senior position. If tomorrow another NEMA citizen becomes vice president, he or she will also be protected and promoted by the NEMA Solidarity Movement, he added. Now, to this last report, our guest is in the back. Mr. Jacob Bantu is also in the back. We're going to bring him on very shortly. Senator Samuel Gongben Koga graced the Union of NEMA Students in East Africa Leadership inauguration and donated 2,500 in support. The Union of NEMA Students in East Africa, UNSIA, on Saturday, October 25th, 2025, witnessed a colorful inauguration ceremony of its new leadership graced by NEMA County Senator Honorable Samuel Gongben Koga. The event brought together Liberian students from across Rwanda, Kenya, Uganda, and other East African nations. In his keynote remarks, Senator Koga lauded the initiative of NEMA students studying in East Africa for their unity and commitment to education. He called on the students to uphold respect for leadership and remain focused on their academic professional goals. Senator Koga further cautioned the student against being misled by political figures to engage in actions that could undermine the peace and unity of NEMA County. He emphasized that the leadership, both at home and abroad, should be treated with respect as a pillar of growth and development. In a show of support, Senator Koga announced financial contribution of 2,000 United States dollars to the Union of NEMA Students in East Africa as financial aid, and additional 500 to the leadership of the Liberian community in Rwanda to assist with their ongoing activities. The gesture was warmly received by the student body and the Liberian community, who expressed deep appreciation for Senator Koga's continued support toward youth and educational advancement. The inauguration ceremony held in Kigali marks a new chapter for UNSIA, an organization committed to promoting academic excellence, cultural unity, and leadership among NEMA students across East Africa. And so, folks, this is it. Our guest is already in the back here this evening. Let's try to recognize a few of our folks. Moses Zepe is following us from Banga, Bon County. Moses, welcome to the show this evening. Mario Kroma is also watching us. He said, good evening. I'm following from Complete City, Nima County. Mario, welcome. Melvin Walkman is watching us this evening from Ganta City, Nima County. And also, Corporate W. Kanu is also watching the show from Mango Island Community, Sanicole Cooper. Welcome. Mr. J. Bantu is in the back. We're going to bring him on very shortly. Our CEO too is here. And of course, the guest is already in the back too as well. But we have to do this very shortly before we bring the guest on. Mr. Bantu, how are you doing this evening? Welcome to the show, Chief.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. We will be relaying the show here on Voice of Tapeta, and it will be going across the district. It will also be going to Riverside County, Grand Jide, and all the other surrounding counties around Tapeta district. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Welcome to the show this evening, Mr. Bantu. It's great having you on here as always. See you, good evening, welcome. How are you doing this evening, Chief?
Good. Good to see you back. You know, you came back with a new haircut. You're looking at baby from your Butu. Welcome back. I think your audience missed you. And for the past 2 days, it's been hard to. I have to give it up to you. Hosting these shows can be very difficult if you are not a journalist. You know, it's not our area. So I just want to say welcome back. I'm excited about today's show. I want to say a big thanks to our brother, Mr. Bantu from Tapeta there. We appreciate your effort in working with us in relaying our show over there. We really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And it's exciting. Looking forward to seeing what we have. And congratulations to District 2 for winning this year's District League. It's an exciting movement. So, yeah, I think that's what I have. But I want to say a big thank you. Welcome back. I know we got a lot to unpack. And we look forward to the rest of our colleagues joining us.
It's great having you on here this evening, CEO. On tonight's edition of the show, we'll be hosting Mr. Shadrach G. Thomas Duki. He's the chairman of NIMA for We Are 2023. He will be joining us here tonight, and our discussion will center around NIMA politics, Liberia politics, and also what is the strategy for the CDC comes 2029 to win the presidency in Liberia. So Mr. Shadrach is already in the back. We're going to bring him on. But today was a really beautiful day in football history. In El Clasico, Barcelona was defeated 2-1 by Real Madrid, which is really nice. I love it. And the Real Madrid men are the Barcelona men are pinning them tonight. So it's great having all of you on here. If you're just joining us, we ask you to please share the show with other people. Invite somebody to listen alongside you. The show has been really on Voice of Tapeta in Tapeta City, Nima County. It also simulcast on Voice of BKS in Butu Town, Booyah District, Nima County. So this is a widely listening to show, not just in Nima, but also across Liberia and outside of Liberia too as well. Our radio listeners are both people who are from Guinea, Ivory Coast, because the two stations that are really in the show, they have audience in those countries. So it's going to be a wonderful conversation here tonight with the chairman, and it's going to be great. But again, we ask you to please share the show with other people. I invite somebody to listen alongside you. Well, let's go to Mr. Bantu to give us a little update from Tapeta and its environs as to what is happening there lately. Honorable Bantu, welcome. How is Tapeta this evening? Any latest development from there?
Oh, yes, there's great developments here. Madam Kolmia Pegono, the superintendents of neighbor countries, have been back on renovation or rebuilding of various key infrastructure facilities in Tapeta, to include the City Hall, the presidential palace, or presidential guest hall, let me say that, and the civil compound itself, that's it, interpreted since the Civil War, nothing have touched it at all. So they have she are embarked on the renovation of the civil compound. The City Hall have been completed. It's yet to be delegated. And so we are waiting for the delegation. So those are developments, current development that are taking place in Tapeta. And those guys that are the Chinese road construction company are making a final push with the alpha pavement to enter Tapeta. So maybe by the end of this, maybe by early next month, they will be completing the first stretch of road from Secretariat to Tapeta. They will be completing it. Those are the current developments.
That's great, Mr. Bantu. Thank you. But before we bring the guests on, there have been this latest development currently in Nima, and you hold the media landscape from that end. What do you say about this entire Burkina Beans issue?
It's a trending issue in the community right now. Almost every talk show you touch here, people will talk about the presence of the Burkina Bee in the reserve forest, the way the forest is being depleted by the Burkina Bee farmers with the help of some individual from Liberia here, and the kind of I don't want to say deaf ear that government is paying, but let me just say that the kind of slow action from government angle and all of that, I mean, it makes citizens to actually feel very bad when they see what their forefather being, destroyed. They are kind of feeling bad about it.
TJ, good evening and welcome to the show, Chief. How you doing?
Are you there?
Yes, sir. We are hearing you now.
Okay. All right. Like I said, the Burkina Bee issue is a brand new issue here. Every talk show you host in this end, be it Radio Lawe, be it Voice of Tapeta, or a Good News Radio in Kwabi, the most talked about issue in the community now is the presence of the illegal occupation of the Burkina in our reserve forest. Citizens are feeling very bad. They are not comfortable with the presence of the Burkina because they no longer, have access to their own forest. The forest being along with their collaborators. So that is a very serious matter here, but government has not taken action. The action is very slow. It's not to the expectation of the citizens, and this is the kind of situation that is trending here right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Bantu. Thank you for those updates. I guess our local county administration, those that are representing the executive within the county, are taking note of these major developments within our county. And I hope and pray that they relay it to the executive branch. I mean, those of whom that are responsible for this kind of development, like the immigration, like all of the Requisite Authority, including the Liberia Land Authority, the immigration, and all of those people will take note of that to see how best this issue can be resolved in a very quick manner. My brother Chris is in the back. Chris, welcome. Let's now go to our guest. We shouldn't keep him waiting for a very long time. Good evening, Mr. Shadrach. How are you doing this evening, Chief?
Good evening, and good evening to every one of you. I'm doing very well.
It's great having you on here this evening. Where are you speaking to us from?
I'm personally speaking from Monrovia at my residence around Cali Junction.
That's great. It's wonderful having you on the show this evening. For the benefit of our audience and those that are listening to you via radio, just do a lengthy introduction about yourself, where you hail from, your educational background, and your professional history too as well. Let's start the conversation from there.
Okay, thank you for the audience. And to start with, I want to first extend my heartfelt congratulations to District Number 2. That's where I hail from. Yeah, I'm so overwhelmed. I'm happy for the victory today, though I wasn't there in person, but I feel the euphoria, I feel the zest, and I'm so excited that at least we have won this tournament, and it's not just going to be limited to this year, but we'll always win it. Even though I'm not a soccer player, but I love soccer. So Shadrach G. Thomas Doki hailed from Sanikole, District Number 2, Sanikole Mount District. I started my primary education at the Seminary High School, where I graduated in 2001 from the Seminary High School. I went to the Ivory Coast, where I did accounting and computer science at the DTech in Danane. Graduated from there. That was 2001, 2002. Then I came back to Monrovia and I attended the AMEU in 2005. And then 2011, I graduated with my first BSc in business administration. And then I got my second BSc again from the same era in 2014 in public administration. And then I went for my master's in international relations at the same AMU University. I'm a businessman, and I have been involved basically in used car business and other business, real estate as well. And then I gravitated to politics, though we know that life is dynamic. Man, by nature, we are all political animals, so I have to gravitate back to politics when I saw the need. And that's how I found myself within the CDC. But I actually joined the CDC from 2004, but then we were kids, 2005, 2011, and up to present. I served the National Port as consultant, and personally, I'm doing my real estate business, including other stuff. So for the introductory aspect, that's just a little bit Shadrach.
Yeah, that introduction there, it got me thinking. You mentioned something about DTech. Danane. If you said DTech, anyone who went to the rank of Danane will say something. So it touched me because I went to school in Danane too. I grew up there from 1992 to 2000. Yeah, Laga de Man. I went there a few years ago. Last year, I was at Laga de Man last year. and I visited all those areas. So, yeah. So D-Town connection. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Once again, welcome to the show this evening. Mr. Shadrach, it's great having you on here. Let's start the conversation with the Unity Party-led government because this is the current administration that unseated your administration. How can you compare their 2 years with your 2 years? Avoid the politics as a patriotic son of Liberia.
Thank you. So it is important to note that government is continuity, and the Unity Party is doing well, but their well may not be equated or equivalent to what we have expected them to have done after those many criticism. But to continue, let me give you the historicity of Nima Fawia, where we come from, and how we found ourselves here, and so forth. Because the nomenclature under which I was invited is chairman of Nimba Fawia. So before discussing our body politics in general, it's good to contextualize the reason for which I was invited. So we all know that Nima County became a county in 1964. So since the formation of Nima County in 1964, we have had presidents and we have had leaders. But some of us felt within ourselves that Nima has never enjoyed the quality of benevolence, the quality of development, the quality of love that she felt from former President Weah. Because in 2017, at the close of the campaign before the marriage between Senator Prince Johnson and the CDC, there were agreement. And Senator Prince Johnson said, look, CDC, if you want me to support you, there are things that I want you to do for Nimba. My struggle is not just for my personal gain, but I'm a people-centered person. My quest is to see Nimba progress. So if you can promise me to build schools, if you can promise me for developing our roads, if you can promise me that you'll change the living condition of our people, then I will make Nima to support you. So it was based on those requests that George Weah, then the standard bearer of CDC, agreed. And the marriage was conducted, and CDC became a ruling party through the effort of Nima County. In 2022, Senator Johnson called a press conference. You can ask other press, and I think you are aware, to appreciate former President George Weah for living up to his promises, if not up to 100%, but at least around 70%. But then you could drive from Ganta to Loguacho in less than an hour because the roads were not completed. But then you could drive from Ganta to Seclepied in less than an hour because the roads were in process. But then Nima was now benefiting a hydro plant that could supply both Nima, Bon, and Grand Jide that is being constructed in Gbedi. But then there was a modern high school built in Ban. But then the forgotten area in Nima called the Gbi and Doru that have never gotten a clinic now started to enjoy a modern hospital. But then the area between Nima and Grand Jide called the Pabli region has a modern bridge that was constructed. High schools were being constructed in Nimba from the World Bank project through some former President Weah. The market building in Ganta was erected. The administrative building in Ganta, presently ongoing project, was already on. The G. Hospital in Sanikore were being relocated because of the disturbance from the locomotion of the train. So many development were going across Nimba. There were free education like he promised. Our older women could not no longer suffer to send their children to university because public universities were free. Our parents could no longer struggle to pay wise fees for their children because the president back then was living up to his promises and all were being paid by him. So Senator Johnson said, if not 100%, but you are a young man that I see that whatever you promise, you are living up to your promise. Man is not like God, but at least you are trying. So after his speech, some of us that were around as Nimbadians within the CDC, we were proud. It was based on that when the senator deflected in 2003, we decided to go back to George Weah to say to him, look, while it is true our father has deflected, we still recognize what you did for the country, which are tangible and evidence. So because of these things, we believe that the country still belongs to you. There are projects that you initiated that we believe that because you are the vision bearer of what you started, if you are given the second opportunity, you will accomplish those things and even go beyond. It was from that nature that Nima for Weah came into existence. It was from that nature that Nima for Weah came into existence. So Nima for Weah propagated the messages of George Weah, and we carry on some development across Nima, like building or reconditioning the road from Mount Diaple to Yautiaple to Nala Lepula. We did all those projects with our team where I was the leader. So coming to your question, I took that set and compared the progress of this person.
Before you go to that question, I want to ask this question as the beginning one, then you will lay the premise on that. With all of the beautiful things that you just named, why is it that the Liberian people, especially in Nima, that you serve as chairman for Nima for Weah, voted for this Unity Party-led government instead of the CDC?
Beautiful question. Like anybody else or any other national who have done just what Nima did. What Nima did was not 100% a betrayal. But what Nima did, in my opinion, I'm a realist. Nima performed based on presumption. Their projection. Without a vice president, we are experiencing a modern breach in public. Without a vice president, there is hospital built in Gui and Doru. Without a vice president, Ganto now has a multi-administrative building. Without a vice president, I can drive less than 45 minutes from Ganto to Logwatu. Without a vice president, Ban has a modern high school with buses operating. Without a vice president, there is literally electricity everywhere in the loops and corners of Nima. Without a vice president, there is free education going on in Nima. Without a vice president, tuitions we call wise fees has been paid. Without a vice president, Nima has sons and daughters within the creme de la creme of the government. Without a vice president, Nimbadians are benefiting these things. So what will happen if we have a vice president? There will be overhead bridges in Nima. The PYJ University will be free. There will be numerous of additional universities to be built across Nima. So the assumption, the projection of Nimbadians realistically was that if they have a vice president, what they were experiencing would have been tripled. So it was based on that presumption that Nimbadians went to vote for Unity Party. They didn't know that it was the greatest mistake in the error that history will record for eternity. They didn't know that it was a defeat. It was a trap that was meant to destroy the fragment that hold Nima together. I don't hold anybody accountable or guilty for voting the Unity Party government, because any other person will do it based on assumption. But what happens when assumption becomes a failure? The old book, the Bible says, what happened? The Bible says you are the salt, but what happened when the salt become tasteless. It becomes like the sand. That's what we are experiencing. Today, the PYJ University is closed. Yet we have a vice president. The road project going to West Secretary is closed. Yet we have a vice president. The one for which we all believe in, Senator Johnson, peace to his ashes, he's no more. Yet we have a vice president. The warfare code for which Ellen bought Senator Johnson time, Joshua gave him time. The agreement was made that Waka would give him time, which he sold Nima vote for, which he allowed for Nima to allude to voting for Unity Party. He was deceived. He was betrayed. Today, Nima Kante is in limo. We are living in utopia. Everything we were promised has come to a filthy, brutal beast. So I want to let you know that we were deceived. It was based on the assumption and projection that Nima voted for this government, thinking that they would have benefited more than what Josh Weah did. But there's a day coming that we will all say sorry again to Josh Weah when the road is called to Yono. I stop there.
Thank you. Now let's take you to comparison. I want you to compare and contrast between the Unity Party-led government and that of the CDC administration.
Okay, thank you. It is pretty clear that the comparison to be done are tangible. They are vividly present. Firstly, let me let you know that the CDC, the United Party-led government came to power based on deception and propaganda for which they are not living up to. When George Weah took over in 2018, on March 21st, that was just the first year, the 14th military hospital was in progress. When George Weah took over, the MPA today has a modern administrative headquarters that costs over millions of dollars. The LPRC has a modern headquarters that costs over millions of dollars. The Maritime Authority has a modern headquarters that costs over millions of dollars. The NSA has a modern headquarters that costs millions of dollars. I sent my son to the University of Liberia without paying a dime. There was free education for all public universities across Liberia. My daughter took works without me paying a dime as a fee. Now let's leave the public scene and go to Nima. But now, during George Weah administration, machines were on the road going to Gantor. The dam project in Grading was being constructed. Ban High School in progress. We in Doru was experiencing a modern construction of hospitals, etc. and etc. But what are the tangibles that today this government is doing? You are the judge because you are the journalist. There is not a single project. I'm not speaking of continuity. Yes, you'll say the guy overhead bridge coming to, but that project was signed by former President Weah. Oh yeah, they're continuing the road project from Gantor to Logwa to Grand Gide. But that was the project for which we signed. So what are the tangible? What are those deliverable? What are those promises they made for which they are fulfilling? But now, George Weah had made a series of trips outside Liberia. Bakolu was experiencing the 100-bedroom.
Before you finish with that, I just want to inject this. You talk about tangible projects, and you mentioned Nima County. One may say in Nima currently, you are seeing a whole lot of development when it comes to civil compound being renovated, the superintendent compound being renovated, other construction work going on. Don't you refer to that as tangible development too as well?
Thank you. George Weah did not come to renovate. He was innovative. He was creative. He did not renovate or recondition the road from Gantor to Seklepie. He did not renovate the G. Derry Hardy Hospital in Sanikore, but rather he took upon himself to build new. It's on. You can go and see for yourself. The 100+ housing unit he built in Nima County was not renovation. The dam construction that was ongoing in Gbedi is not renovation. The administrative building that is going on in Ganto is not renovation. The Barn House School that was almost falling, that he broke the whole thing down and built it and gave them a new boss, was not a renovation. I'm not discussing renovation. I am discussing development that is tangible. To paint the administrative building is just, look, when I say government is continuous, I'm talking about Unity Party taking into power with new dream. So the purpose for which Nima County overwhelmingly voted for Unity Party was not to come and paint the Unity or the administrative building. The reason for which our mothers and fathers walk over hundreds of distance to come and cast their vote for Unity Party was not to cut the grass along Loguato to Ganto Highway, was not to paint the administrative building in Ganto. It was to erect additional high schools across Nima. It was to build additional hospitals across Nima. It was to conduct bridges across Nima. It was to open free universities and education across Nima that people benefit. Today, it is a shame that you and I will see a PYJ university being closed because there is no funding. And then you say the painting administrative building that development. That's a caricature to Nima County. I can't ask a greater shame and disgrace to us. Okay. So having said that, can I continue?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Hello.
Continue.
Can I continue, or are you clear?
Continue.
Very good. Okay. So decimally, the Unity Party has performed when it comes to their in responding responsibly to their responsibility to Nima. They have underperformed. So that is just not a question about it. Okay, so on the global scene by now, President Weah have made 2, 3, 4, 5 trips. Every trip he went, he have friends that could contribute to the development of Liberia, outside of Liberia budget. He have gone to Qatar, to the European Union, okay, the United Emirates. And his friends have come in and even offered to build the 100-bedroom hospital in Bapolu. Okay, but now most of his trip, the 14 military hospital, Grand Bassel, our hospitals, and so many things were going on. Baka have had, if not more than 15 different trips. Each of those trips carry nothing less than 300,000+. There is no tangible, except you prove me wrong, that on this trip he came from, apart from dedicating one police booth at 72nd Junction that is no longer in existence. There is no tangible that he had that from my numerous of trips. This is one of the things that I can prove. Brother, politics is not sentiment, it is action. Long have we dwelt based on sentiment. I have graduated from the stage of voting for you because you're a Gil man. I have graduated from the stage of voting for you because you're a Mano man. I have graduated from the stage of voting for you because you are from Nimba. I vote for you because of your result. So what is the result? You be the judge and count me guilty. What is the result? What are the tangible? What are the dividends that this government comparatively has brought to the table that you can compare to George Weah? The most success of this government that anybody can prove up to has been their sudden attack on the person of George Weah and the CDC. One of the biggest accomplishments of this government was to destroy the CDC headquarters. One of the biggest accomplishments of this government was to deny George Weah of using the airport that was constructed by him. One of the biggest achievements of this government was to beat Chasta seditions for peacefully assembling at the airport to welcome their leader. One of the biggest accomplishments of this government was to kill numerous of Liberians that have gone to protest at King George. How many times during the George Weah administration did you ever hear that protesters were beaten, regardless of killing protesters? Except you wouldn't want to say the fact. But during the George Weah administration, there were people protesting when they were feeding them with bread and soft drink. You be the judge and tell me if I'm lying. But under this administration, you see a madman, you shoot them with gun, you say they are suspect for what? Matthew Modbah. Under this administration, you go to Bapuru, people want to protest for their own benefit, their social development fund. You kill over 8 civilians, only because of protest. They didn't have stake, they didn't have arm, nothing. The Supreme Court gave you mandate and you trash it down. Lawlessness. Is that the achievement? Is there something how can you compare Liberia, Monrovia to Washington, D.C.? Is that comparing United Party-led government achievement with that of George Weah? Make no mistake. Make no mistake. When George Weah took over, the first 1 to 2 years, there was COVID-19. He was strangulated. Nothing was working. So these massive development he did was done on scrutiny. And it was just done on a little handful of time. George Weah took over during one of the toughest time. Over 15,000 United Nations troops has just left Liberia. Things were hard. Jobs were lost. But he managed to accommodate everybody. I challenge you to show me one United Partisan during the day of George Weah that were dancers or that were dismissed because he was a United Partisan, apart from appointed positions. But when Joseph Juma Boaka and a United Party-led government took over, the best thing they could do was to dance as everybody like those seditions are not Liberians. Freeport alone dancers over 1,500 persons. The GSA and other places. Brother, too long have we dwelt on sentimental politics. It's time to follow action. I can tell you another thing about George Weah. I don't love George Weah because he's handsome. I don't love George Weah because he won World Best because he didn't bring me no dividend. But NIMA is our common denominator. NIMA is the only country for which we all hold allegiance. If anybody contributes to the benefit and success of NIMA, that person becomes my alma mater. I was asked the last time in studio, will you support the United Party come 2029? I said, politics is dynamics. On one condition, if the United Party progress surpasses what the CDC did, I will support them because it is NIMA. The glorification of NIMA is what I run after. I'm not doing it for my own good. Okay? So on the clear scale, it is there is no comparison between the United Party and the CDC when it comes to progress. Because desmondly, they are performing. Yes, I will grade them, maybe out of the 100%, I will give them 5 to 6%, because those projects that we left behind, they are considered as the finisher or the continuance. Okay, so like the overhead bridge we pay for, they passing around, they come and construct their own. So they are only there. Anything the CDC do, they follow suit. We went to the airport to wait for George Weah. The following day, Boaka will come in. They sent 10 buses to Cape to wait for him. CDC just dedicated her headquarters. Let's say broke ground. They are talking about breaking ground in December. United Party was founded since 1984. Bien Kessari. So that today they come and break ground because they saw CDC breaking ground. Okay? So I say this to let you know that, brother, it is not about sentimental politics. It is about what we can prove and what we can point out to say.
Are you saying the NIMA people voted for the Unity Party based on sentiment?
I told you, I did not say, okay, I can say it is both sentiment and assumption. I told you NIMA voted for CDC or I call United Party based on projection and assumption. Okay. My father is not in the house. My father is not in the house, but I eat 2 times a day. Now, what will happen when my father is in the house and working? I will have breakfast, I will have dinner, I will have supper, and my friends will even come to my house for food. Assumption. And then your father comes to the house, you become a baker. That's the situation of NIMA. So NIMA voted for United Party because they felt that by now the PYJ University in Gantor would have been free and everybody will be benefiting. But now they felt that there would have been quota leading from Gantor all the way to Ban. But now they felt that, that the entire district number 5, district number 4 would have been connected with paved roads. But all those assumptions have come to a failure. What are the jobs, brother? Let's be real. Let us be real. There was no county in Liberia that voted for the United Party more than the Nima County. Lofa County gave less than 45,000 votes. Nima County alone gave more than 140,000 votes. In comparing the job analysis, Lofa alone carried more than 80% of the jobs in Liberia. Just 2 weeks ago, if not 3 weeks, they sacked Dr. Yan, who is one of the best. In fact, the only Liberian in the whole world to have acquired that degree in biology and medicine. He was sacked only because they wanted to carry a Lofa woman there. Everything we did in Liberia, how many jobs you see anybody benefiting in this government that you think anybody can knock their chest for? Prince Johnson recommending somebody to labor ministry. They deny them. He has to pass through down they don't to beg for his daughter to get a job. Then Nimbaden will sit and clap our hands. Brother, enough is enough. Coward died many times before his death. Until we can stand firm, we'll always be like this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shadrach. We have a lot of panelists on the show here tonight. We have Mr. TK Way here. TK is the brain behind this thing, one of the brains. He's doing absolutely well. Mr. Jacob Bantu is also from Voice of Tapeta. He's relaying the show tonight. So Mr. Bantu is going to ask his 2 questions to Shadrach because I know the public want him to ask question. And also Gonti Madrick is here. It's my first time seeing him. Gonti, welcome. And the lone female on the show, Madam Lorena Donke, she's on the show. Welcome. We also have the chairman for Liberty Party. The chairman for Liberty Party, Mr. Paul Zeway Sr. is also on the show. And a seditian, a very promising politician, and a seditian, Chris Silly, is also here as one of our panelists. We'll start with you, my brother DK Way, veteran DK Way. You have 2 questions, and after you go to Mr. Jacob. Great. DK is on the standby for now. So, Mr. Jacob, if you're available, you can ask your 2 questions on the first round, and after you, we go to Lorena, and after Lorena, we go to Paul to Gonti to my brother Chris. Mr. Jacob, you are muted. You are muted, Mr. Jacob. Okay, you are muted now. You mute yourself.
Let me first of all say
you mute yourself. Okay.
Let me first of all say greetings to Oromo Duki. I'm happy to get you to see you on the platform tonight. To actually speak to some of those issues. Let me first of all recognize Mr. Chris Lee. You know, we are journalists. We don't play the role of politicians, but our duty is to, disseminate information. So the questions is, what do you think if we was to be elected, or the CDD government was to be elected? Then how far have we gone in Nimba now in these 2 years in terms of development, job opportunities, and the rest of it?
You can unmute yourself, Mr.
I'm posting a question directly to Mr. Doki.
Yourself, Mr. Doki.
So, Mr. Doki, are we there?
Are you getting me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Are we there?
Hello? Me?
Yes.
Okay, so like I was saying, the vision bearer knows how to better execute his vision more than any other person. So if DK Way had a dream, and his dream is to build a technical college in Bond City, he knows how to formulate that dream and bring it to reality more than any other person, because he is the vision bearer. So the vision of Josh Weir was to see NIMA at another level. But then those who does not ascribe to that philosophy, those who does not believe or have the intricacies of the dream he carried, are given the dream. So they are inadequately performing when it comes to perfecting or effectuating that dream. So if Josh Weir was to be elected of the person, but now, and I tell you one thing, but now, because there was a plan on the way to have the same investable park we have in Monrovia to Oro Junction. One was to be erected right in Campley. If you know one, Melvin Yelu, call him and ask him. That investable park, that's a project that costs $1 million. Then by now, the dam project to Grady, which I think has been abandoned, we have almost been to completion. But now, PYJ University will have to be operating. I don't have my children in PYJ University, but there are Nimbadians that will have still been benefiting. But now, there will still be free education for our sisters and brothers across Nimba. For now, our parents won't have to be struggling to pay WAS fees. Who knows? But now, there will have been a payroll from Seclepier to Ban. But now, the project will have been progressing, because he who had the vision knew where to get sourcing from to execute those visions. But those who didn't understand the dynamics of the vision took the vision upon themselves, and they became stagnated, and they dropped the vision along the way. That's why you see us going through what we are going through. But it's not too late. I know there will be a day coming too soon. So if Georgia will have won by now, we have gone too far. Undoubtedly, I can tell you for free. So that answer your question. Mr. Moderator, are you there?
Thank you very much, Mr. Dugi. Thank you.
Okay.
So I think Mr. Bantu has one more question. That is two questions. So he need to ask another question. John is back. I'm not a host anyway, but I think Mr. Bantu has one more question, and then afterward we can go around the table.
Thank you so much. But Mr. Bantu, you can ask your last question, and after you, we will go to Mana Lorena. After Lorena, we go to Paul to Gonti.
It's okay for now.
Okay, that's great. Now, Mana Lorena is not here, so we'll go to Paul. Or you can ask your two questions, and after you will go to Gonti.
Well, thank you very much. Shadrach, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, brother.
I think we've met each other more than once. It's good to have you on here. And I would like to make a short statement before I ask my question. I want to appreciate DK. I was on here before and reluctant to come back because of my busy engagement. But he been knocking on my door, and I want to make a commitment that I will try to be on, because this is about Nimba. And I've been also talking to Jion and also the CEO, and I'm grateful that BKS have involved to the level it is today. So we are happy to be here. I have two questions, but my first question will be, we often hear about Nimba unity. Every day we hear Nimba unity. We have to unite Nimba. The essence of having this government, vice president in this government, is because we want to have the Nimba project, the Nimba unity. So I'd like to know whether Nimba is united now as compared to before or vice versa? That's my first question.
So, thank you. NIMA unity is relative. NIMA unity is relative. Relative in the sense that when it comes to the development of NIMA, we all have that united mindset. My brother DK in America, everything he's working for, his attention is on NIMA, how to benefit NIMA. I am in Liberia. You see me talking today is because I want the good for NIMA. So it is because of that cohesiveness within our ideology, that unity within our ideology for NIMA that keep bringing us together. So that unity in another form. But the unity that will say the entire NIMA should go behind Jeremiah Kun, or the entire NIMA should go behind Shadrach Thomas, Doki, or the entire NIMA should go behind this person to support this person. I don't think that's called for. What we should be looking for should be the good of NIMA, regardless of our political diversification. We should be looking at the benefit of NIMA. So in terms of unity, I would say, yes, NIMA is united, but it depends on your definition of the unity you are looking for. We are united because we all want the good for NIMA, regardless of our political difference. If one Nimbane is machine, every one of us will be machine. That's the cohesiveness of unity. You see, the last time when our senior brother Doug Cooper went and stole the day-by-day degree, brother, I was shamed for almost 1 month in time. Okay? I was shamed. I wouldn't have been shamed if we were not united. So a shame to one is a shame to all. A proud to one is a proud to all. So that's unity. So yes, NIMA is united, but depends on our justification and definition of that unity. Thank you.
So a follow-up to my question, are you saying that NIMA is more united now than during the regime of CDC? Or that's my question. Comparing NIMA unity during CDC regime, George Weah time, and NIMA unity now, are they, which one is more, or are they the same?
Okay, so I got your question clear, right? If you want to dichotomize, you want to dissect, you want to balance the unity of CDC time and the unity of George Weah time. I will tell you that for now, NIMA is not that united as compared to the past. Reasons. Now, during George Weah regime, we had our then Senator Johnson, whose ideology, whose philosophy was for the betterment of NIMA. But today, he's no more. Other people now are running after their personal aggrandizement, crushing NIMA interest on their feet. It is no longer what become good for NIMA. So if yesterday Prince Johnson wanted the good for NIMA, that's why he told George Weah that I will put NIMA together to vote for you because I want roads, I want schools, I want this, that. And because of the unity, it happened, and he stood by it. But today, we are not united because other people are not following the interests of NIMA. Our brother Yang was just dismissed. Who is the official from NIMA? Have you heard? Who is the official from NIMA? Have you heard? To lambast at this identical government for what they did to Nimbadian. Taking a qualified Nimbadian that is more qualified than anybody in this nation out of a job and bringing a Lofian there. And there is nobody from NIMA. Is that not a man in NIMA? Or is that not a cost? So I will tell you, we are not united. The unity we have now is a Jakanepa type of unity. Local English will say Henke Penge unity. What we can get is a few of us can go together and benefit for our household. Let's do it. But NIMA now does not become the central figure of our concentration. So for now, we are not united as compared to yesterday. Thank you.
Okay. So thank you for the elaborate answer. My second question would be, you said Nimbayans voted for the United Party-led government based on assumption. Meaning there were some observation, there was some hypothesis to be done, and there was some tests to be done, Lima test. Is that working for NIMA today as compared to that of the CDC time? That assumption, is
Obviously,
it
you and I know
working?
that. Obviously, you and I know that it is not working. I don't know if you attended the senator or the senator funeral in Ganto.
Yes, I did.
If you attended it, very good. If you attended the senator funeral in Ganto, you will get to know that all our assumption became a failure. When Senator Yahya Nimena spoke from Grand Jida, he said everything that Senator Johnson expected in this government has come to a failure. Nimbadians, with this entire war that came in Liberia, let me just start from the war crime issue, right? The entire war that came in Liberia was because of the marginalization that Nima went through. Nimbadians were being buried, our babies were being buried in truck. Nimbadians were thrown in the lion's den behind the mansion. My uncle, the late James Gerfan Doki, was thrown in the lion's den. Many Nimbadians died in the process. Nimbadians were being slaughtered in the Lutheran church in more than 700%. That the blood ran across the road. Were those not recipe of war? So Nimba felt that this war would keep because we wanted to liberate ourselves. So Bagon has become Bagon, peaceful, and everybody flew. That's why Prince Johnson always prayed for time, because there was no need for war crime code. Eddie promised him war crime code, that there will be no war crime code. Because he knows that when there is no war crime code, he will have the time to advocate for his people under normal circumstances. George Weah did the same. But if you were there when Nelson Wallow or Nesco Wallow spoke, he said, our father died from depression. Our father died from frustration. What happens when hope becomes a failure? Prince Johnson was the embodiment of the hope and admiration of Nima. So when he becomes disappointed, the entire Nima is disappointed. When he becomes frustrated, Nima is frustrated. Because he was the voice to the voiceless. He was the eyes to the blind. And he was the strength to the weak. So humiliating him to that extent tells you that everything that we believe that this government was going to do, it was dead upon arrival. Waka did not even take office when he blacked Prince Johnson number. Tell me if I'm lying. The recordings are there. Son walk around, then he go to his son for rescue. Then his son said, Papa, there's step you. There 5,000 years and go hire a lawyer. Brother, man got one life to live. Talk the truth that you will live. Don't be afraid, because coward dies many times before he's dead. It's about Nima, not about me, Shadrach particular. So we are hurt, we were deceived, we were misled, we were cajoled and snarled into a den. And only a sound mind can get us out. And it is you and I that should initiate that process of mental emancipation. And it must start now. Each one, tier one, and teach one. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Paul. Thank you very much for those questions. Madam Lorena, if you are there, you can come on camera to ask your 2 questions. If you are not available, we'll skip you to go to my brother Chris. Okay, Chris, go ahead with your 2 questions, Chief.
Okay, thank you. Let me say good evening to the people of Tapeta, and good evening to our guests. I just want to make a very short statement, then I will ask my question. I'm a strong supporter of the former president. They are joining political party, the media will carry. But for now, I'm a strong supporter of President Weah. And where the guest spoke for is the reason.
My man, you and I get in-horse discussion. Don't make me talking here. I beg
No,
you.
the Tanaka, the Tanaka.
We're solution. Just accept the fact.
So the reason CDC was defeated because the publicity and our CDC were weak. They were weak. So to the guests, my question is the road from Sagipie to Tapeta, from Tapeta to the southeast. Now the government took over, they are taking the grade. And I believe that during the CDC last 2 years ago, there are machine placed on our road and other things were been done. The information wasn't sent out there by the propaganda and the CDC. The opposition kept the last on it, and today they succeeded by winning election. What you have to say about that road from Sagipie to Tapeta to the southeast? That's my first question.
So thank you, Comrade Adulog. Thank you. All right, so to that answer, Gideon, who is the present public works minister, acknowledged that the funding for that road project was 100% raised by the CDC-led administration. He acknowledges it. So the records are there that the funding for that identical project was raised 100%. So what the United Party is doing is like, your pa going in the bush to go hunt, and he hunt down an antelope. Bringing the antelope, you run, you see him on the road. Oh, daddy bringing antelope, you grab it from him. Then on your head, now bringing it to town. Your pa leave behind you, bring it to town, and you see him, and you say, hey, the party, Shadrach bringing antelope, but they know that the pa finish in it. So the United Party is only bringing the antelope to town, but it was killed by the CDC. And the records are there. So like you rightly say, brother, one thing we are going through is the information system of our people is poor. Information dissemination is one of the reasons our people have been kept backward. But the records are clear. Even the overhead bridge, the same public works minister mentioned again that CDC secured the funding 100%. But this government will not want to tell you. So it is just the devil advocate they are doing. A few months ago, when they went to Ghana to dedicate the high school that George Weah advocated to build, when our guys from the United Party spoke, but putting it upon themselves that it was they that struggled to make it happen. It was the World Bank representation that this project must be accounted to George Weah, because he was the one that lobbied and made this to happen. So the records are there. The records are there. Even as they try to shadow it, it will come up. So thank you.
And my last question was squarely, go to Lofa. When President Weah took over, they said he built a lot of horses, housing unit for himself. In the maybe Ralphie Highway or whatsoever. The non-United Party, when opposition, they ran with down on the social media. And they did it as President Weah stole money to build those horses. So there in Lofa County, there have been buildings being built or being instructed or erected. Have cost over 10 million. We listen to the deputy minister, Dana Sanders, the man stuff, parliament stuff. Then the press secretary to the president came out and said, no. And misinformation have been placed in the social media. When the designated foreign affairs, that's the minister of state, when Makuma Major said he's not aware. Yesterday, it was crying. Yesterday, my president, we are built. Under the uniparty government is going on. And they are seeing it as a bad decision. What you have to say, it is that the Liberian politicians or the present government, they use what we call lies, deception, misinformation, and mispropaganda to destroy the city to come to power. Do you think so? Thank you.
So once again, thank you, comrade. Initially, I said this government came to power on the pillow of propaganda. And propaganda is lies in the form of truth. Now, when former President Weah was constructing those buildings within the Baptist Seminary vicinity, that project did not even start in 2018. That led I served as the director of logistics for George Weah. As NFCDician about Shadrach G. Thomas Doki, I served as the director of logistics for former President George Manuel Weah. The work of the logistics is to acquire, to purchase, and to make inquiry on items to be purchased. Now, the purchasing of that identical land was done 2014. There is no rich politician before the ascendancy of President Weah to presidency that existed in Liberia beyond President Weah. He was the only Liberian that ascended that high to have all those millions. People say, oh, the million finished this, that was the evidence. That land, there is document, it was acquired in 2014. The projects, everything was in place. So people who never running all the project, that project started long before even our election. So what I expected United Party to have done, since they said that project was a stolen money from the government project, but now they have spent 2 years in government. But now I expected them to have come because the burden of proof lies upon the complainant. The burden of proof lies upon the complainant. So I have expected them to come with those evidence to say, oh, it happened in Sierra Leone. Okay, property was confiscated. The government money was used. But what's happening? Up to now, there is no evidence. So everything they said yesterday was lie. But for that project in Lofa, the government came out at first, they said, like you said, it was the Mano Rural Union project. Again, they say it was a presidential bidder. And now Baka is claiming he does not even have hand in the project, that other people behind him doing it. Those money could be used to build hospitals. That's our taxpayer money. The source of that money has been identified. And in maybe a day or two, Henry Pedro Costa will be coming up with that information. If you monitor him yesterday, he lambasted, he was very angry with that project because the people money is being misapplicated. So United Party came on this platform based on deceit, propaganda, misleading information. So everything they said yesterday was not good is what is good today. Or yesterday they said drugs was not good, but Baka's son Jojo now is the leading head of the drugs cartel. During George Weah, there were nothing the zombies, there were nothing the spark and die. But today the version keep increasing every day. So everything they said yesterday wasn't good. It's happening today. Yesterday during George Weah administration, George Weah was the first president to have brought DNA machine to determine rape cases in Liberia. But today, you have deputy minister raping and going Oscar free, McGill. And so many things are happening. So it is left with the Liberian people to judge for themselves. But everything they said yesterday is lie. So thank you for all. I think that's just the answer.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Shadrach, and thank you, Chris, for those questions. Let's welcome to the show veteran Mafosi and Davis. Welcome. It's been a really long time. We've not seen each other, but it's great to see you here this evening, Chief. T, let's welcome you too as well. You can ask your two questions, and after you go to veteran Mafosi.
All right, thank you very much. Are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Loud and clear, brother.
All right. Unfortunately, I am not a member of the CDC, neither a member of the Unity Party. I am a Liberian politician. I hail from Nimba, where bulk of the discussion tonight is lingering on. If I would like to ask, the premise of my question should be, every leader that comes to power should be responsible. You should be trusted, and you should be a well-responsible person. I want to know from the host, what has become the outcome of the case filed against former President George Weah in the district court in the United States about child support. The reason I'm asking this question is it was because, I believe in my mind, it was because of this child support lawsuit against George Weah that he did not take any visit to the United States as a president of the Republic of Liberia, because there was sanction on him for that. I want to know if Superintendent Carl Gono Glay lawsuit against George Weah for child support in America, if the case has been disposed, or what is the final outcome of it? That's my first question. But we need a responsible leader, please.
Okay, so thank you.
Not the premise of my question.
Yeah, so thank you. So thank you for that question. But I want to set the basis right, to set the trajectory straight before proceeding. If I got you clear, you said there was a sanction on him that he did not go to America throughout his 6 years. That was erroneous. That was false and misleading, and it came from the better of the devil in
Don't get
in
me
the
wrong.
abyss.
Don't get me wrong. The sanction was from the court. Please. I stand to argue that any day.
Yeah, but
The sanction was from the
a
court.
sanction.
It was not the
Sanction,
government of
a
the United
sanction.
States, not the federal government sanctioning him. Yes.
Okay, I said sanction. I didn't call where it came from, but I said sanction.
Okay.
Now,
Well, I know you're no
to
sanction.
set the record straight, to set the record straight, there is no sanction on former President Weah from any court. Former President Weah visited America more than 2 times. I can bring you all the evidences when he was in president, or let's say when he was in power. And some of your panelists on this show tonight can attest to it. He visited the US on so many occasions, with even apart from the trip he made that he sat with Donald Trump. Was it Donald Trump? Yeah. Okay. With the US president. That they were even watching the
Chief,
football
I
game
want to
together.
know the
videos
outcome
are
of
all-
the case.
Yeah, but before knowing the outcome, I want to set the record straight, because you said he never went to America. So I want to let you know that he went to America. He went to America. So let's get that clear. He went to America. Having accepted the fact that he went to America, let's come back to the outcome of the case. That case was thrown out because there was no magnitude. That case was thrown out because there was no magnitude. According to the case, she said George Weah did not support his daughter. Okay? So how was he surviving? Up to now, the name of that child is I think monetary or something. She's still, her needs still being attached to money. Okay. So there was no magnitude in that case. It was thrown out. You can do the research for yourself. Or at a better still, I can DM you information on it for more information that you will use for future. So that case did not have magnitude. It was thrown out. There was no time that court placed sanction on Georgia because of that case. That was just a judiciary caricature. Okay? So the records are there. The evidences are there. You can prove me right or wrong. But you can get my contact. I will DM you step-by-step record on how the case ended and how it proceeded. So that wasn't a case. Yeah. It was just politics mixed in or legality.
Chief, I'm from Nimba, and my sister was talking about the current superintendent. That
She's
was
also
never
my
thrown out.
cousin.
Thank you.
She's also my cousin. If you know Koguno, if you know her answer today, she is also my cousin from Tekimba.
So I come back to you. With another question.
Yes,
in 2022, the government of Ghana wrote ECOWAS completely Joshua continuous visit to Ghana, especially on a social front. What prompted President Weah? Why did he choose to go to Ghana almost like on a monthly basis, for which your president, remember, who leads over 5 million people, another government has to complain to ECOWAS, the mother body of West Africa, to stop him from going to Ghana? How did you deem such a complaint against him as a sedition?
Thank you. So I luckily enough, you said you are not a sedition, you are not a U-based, but you're a politician and bloody you are a Nimbadian. I will say this to you emphatically clear, that what was done then was a propaganda and it wasn't real. The former Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Henry Fambode, I'm quoting his name because I want you to do your research. The former Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs, Fambode, made a visit to Accra to ascertain the credibility of that information. I was in Liberia when that information came, but that was just a propaganda. It was later discovered that that information was false and misleading. So for the benefit of this platform, I want you to bring, we have other panelists here that understand the computer, how dubious at work, plagiarism and so forth. I want you to bring the copy of that communication. At a later date, there can be another maybe symposium like what we are doing now on this platform, that communication will be validated. So I'm here to say to you emphatically clear that that information was discovered to be false and misleading. And the Ghana Foreign Affairs Minister communicated with Fambode that in no time did they write such a communication. In fact, that communication only surfaced on Facebook. By right, when diplomats, I got my master's in international relations. When countries are communicating, they communicate through the foreign ministries. If that communication was real, it would have come through our foreign affairs minister. Okay. But it wasn't done that way. It was just a propaganda that surfaced on Facebook. So call anybody you know from the foreign affairs ministry and ask them whether there were any information within the database system of the foreign ministry of Liberia concerning what you just said. Yes, that information came up, but it was a Facebook propaganda, which was not validated. Okay. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Gonti, thank you for those questions. We'll come to you for second round. Mana Lorena is back and veteran Mafasin is here. So let's go to Mafasin and we'll come to you, Mana Lorena.
All right, thank you. First and foremost, let me say thank you to the platform. It's been quite a time. I've had some tough health time, but at least I'm okay. To begin with, I want to say I want to extend my words of condolence to the Gonglo's family over the loss of Vopie Gonglo. He was one of us, an Ibaeans, and his passing means a whole lot. It leaves behind a void for Nimba as a community. And I again want to congratulate my friend Paul Way, who is on the show, for his award. I learned he was voted for his service or services to the Cotton University. I think that's a shot in the right direction.
Congratulations, brother. I just hearing it. Congrats.
It's quite sacrificial to see young people who have prepared themselves over the period to want to dedicate their services and time to molding the minds of our young people. That's what we look forward to, because we want a new Liberia. And I want to say, Shadra, welcome on the BKS show. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you, Chief.
The last time we ever met was that night in Kakata when I had a breakdown with my tire and you stopped by. Yeah. I think it was during the heat of the election. That was good.
The election,
And as a matter of fact, we all schooled in Sanikole. We are the Sanikole boys, or the capital boys of Nimba.
I know.
Yeah, but something quite unique, about sedition that has caught my attention, and I want you to throw a little light, because young people represent the future of any country. I think you can see globally the wave of, aggression that the Gen Z community is taking, in Africa, especially calling for rebranding our political system and making sure that government remains responsive to the people, which is quite welcoming. But on the contrary note, Liberia and Liberia's Gen Z has consistently proven a contrary case. Most notable happens to be the political institution you represent, the Congress for Democratic Change. And sorry, I wouldn't say mighty, because I don't see might in it anyway. You brag about the issue of not bringing to court some of the things that were said during election time, and you want to relegate some of the things to mere political propaganda. But interestingly, where it is brought to court, you call it a political witch hunt. Any member of your institution who has got some valid questions to answer, for every time there is a reach for any of them, it becomes a witch hunt. When they are not called for questioning, it becomes a plus to relegate some of the calls that was made during the course of the election to be a mere propaganda, because Unity Party being there for XYZ number of years, they are not call anybody, they're not bringing them to justice. What really do you want as sedition? If we lead a sleeping dollar, you call it propaganda. If there's a reach out for a would-be perpetrator to answer the call to justice, you call it a witch hunt, and you want to use it as a rallying point to, rally your partisan against the peace of our community. What really do you want as sedition?
Okay, so thank you for that beautiful question. While it is true your question little sounded rhetorical, but I'm going to use deductive reasonings to answer your question. Now, for my type of politicking, I don't believe in lies. When the fact belongs somewhere, I place it there. So that's what I said when the fellow asked me about George Weah. So I told him that George Weah had not been taken to court to be proven. It was propaganda because that Edenogua project was something that I knew about from 2014. The matter of fact, the role that I played with George Weah, I was his director of logistics. So there were things that I knew about him that not just ordinary citizens would know. Because I was responsible for purchasing. And most of those purchases he did long time were not even to see that government money he was using. I went to Ivory Coast to charter planes in 2017. And those planes came to Liberia during the campaign. I brought musical trucks that had television, everything on it for the campaign. I went to India and brought so many things. So when you say that was Liberian money, but by then he was not even in power. So he had his own money in time past that he was using. But back to the issue. Within our jurisprudence, until you are convicted, you are still a suspect. So, Nina, am I saying to you that CDC was an amalgamation of angels? No. CDC was a government that had men and women like you and I. Obviously, there is no government that is flawless. Okay? So CDC had people, there were lapses committed. But it becomes the burden of proving those people guilty rests upon the shoulder of this administration. So until they are proving, until they are justifiably proving, one may call it propaganda. One may call it propaganda. I was here when 12 was accused of taking 5 million or 25 million and spending it on macroeconomics and so forth. Okay? But it is left with the court to come with the evidence. During George Weah administration, there were 3 of his officials that they were done, they were sanctioned for corruption. You have Bill Traore, Nathaniel McGill, and Samuel Twe. But it is left with the jurisprudence system to acquit them guilty. But in the absence of that, it's just mere assumption. Assumption without proving. So come with those evidence to say, look, this is the receipt. It is proving that you took SYZ and other phone. Okay. Amin Mudar was accused of corruption from commerce. He resigned. Have he been tried? No. The lady from Nukai, the same thing. Has she been tried? No. So we have, what you and I have to do now is to serve as a pressure group on our government to make sure that those cases are handled fastly, that we will have results rather than just dwelling on assumption. So that answers your first question.
All right, thank you. Maybe the understanding of the question, you try to skew it to your own position on this show relative to President Weah's court action as alleged. But on countless number of times, we've heard partisans and leaders of the Congress for Democratic Change calling government's action to bringing would-be perpetrators to book a political witch hunt. And as you may be aware, we live in.
Okay, so can I inject something right there, please?
Yeah.
Can I inject something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, don't get me wrong. On 80% of this government action has actually been on witch hunt. So I'm not saying this to behave like though I want to escape the issue of witch hunt. For example, what just transpired with the HQ, with our headquarters in Congoton, that was a complete political witch hunt. The case is still pending before the Supreme Court. And then you go and demolish the property. Just last month on the 13th, we were again called by the Supreme Court to go to court for this land issue, when the issue have not been concluded. How do you call that? Isn't that a witch hunt? So I don't want us to I don't want it to be like though because you're saying witch hunt, so I want to have President Ria. No. Realistically, 95% of this or 85% of this government action against sedition has been witch hunting, because there is no evidence. Come up with one credible evidence. We have now observed it. So you can continue, brother. I just wanted to make that injection.
All right. The point I want to look at before my second question has to do with the issue you raised on Amin's Modal. I think Amin was not charged for corruption. The government set up a threshold when it comes to government purchases, especially for vehicles and other materials to be used by officials. And so it's just a financial austerity measure. And once you exceed that threshold, it's a breach of austerity measure. And so you will be called to vote for that. So the car was purchased, and the car is with the Ministry of Commerce for use by the Ministry of Commerce. So that wasn't a corruption. Now, my second question. Since the civil crisis, I think the first government to be democratically elected was the Manan Sirleaf government. And the government, based on its good work, was elected 2 terms before they come into office, the Congress for Democratic Change. And 1 term, the Congress was booted out. What is it that you didn't do right? And what mistake you think the Congress made? How you've corrected those mistakes? How you've worked on what was then done right this time that you think will make the Congress to be to be elected in 2029?
Thank you. There were so many factors that interplay. Realistically, there were elements around the former President Weah that tarnished the image of this institution. I'm saying to you this, that the CDC was not an amalgamation of angels. They were men and women. Just as you see today, Baraka got people around him, some misleading him, some only there to aggrandize for themselves, and some actually for the country. That's how George Weah appears. So when we lost the election, I have my own platform, Nima for Weah, or chat from people, people were there crying, and then the former president came in my DM on our platform, and he says to me, Shadrach, tell your people not to cry. He said, it was better that we lost. I'm saying to you what he told me. He said, it was better that we lost because we have had so many skeletons within our closet that we needed to get out. We need to go in our very catacomb and rejuvenate our system, recalibrate our system. So even if we have won this election, The intention of other people was not what you guys were thinking. But trust me, we are coming back to power. And that process is presently going on. The CDC is in the process of rejuvenating. We are recalibrating our system, that which I can't disclose to you on this media. But there is a good news behind what I'm saying. Come 2029, the mantle of authority will be turned to the CDC. Okay? Using Nima Kante as a case study to justify my conclusion. We were deceived, we were misled, and we have realized, except for those that just want to be constantly dumbfounded. Okay. And now that we have seen the light, brother, only the stubborn flower follow the corpse to the grave. Okay. So there are so many things that we have seen that collectively will all work together to make CDC to come back to power. Yes.
Jim, can I do a quick follow-up as it close?
No problem, veteran. You can do a quick follow-up. After you, we go to Madam Lorena, and then we go for a second round of questioning.
One more before you come in. Jim.
Yes, sir.
Jim.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, I'm talking to my very, very good friend. Very, very good friend. I used to love him, very easy and professional. So, but even seeing discussing politics looking strange to me. One young man I really admire. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, my follow-up. Here's my follow-up. It's good you alluded to the fact that the Congress was not made of angels. They were men with plans. And there were some rotten apples around the president.
Definitely.
Do you care, expanding more? Who were these rotten apple? Have you weeded the rotten apple? And is the bag quite good and trusted that the Liberian can look forward to?
Okay, so until the thief is been justifiably, conclusively concluded to be a thief through the jurisprudence system, anything beyond that will be assumption. Okay, so the burden of proving that lies upon the shoulder of this administration. And that's why you see the last time they told Kimia.
We're just talking about your hosting. It got nothing to do with the government. There were rotten apples within the system around the presidential table that led you to losing the election. Who were those rotten apples? Have you cleaned a bear? A simple question.
I already told you that the process of recalibrating is on. Okay? But that would be very unprofessional. That would be very disgusting. And that would be very demeaning for my person to sit and disclose my strategy and plans to you. But like I told you, the good news is that we are coming with a good formula, a new formula, that the technocrat, the architect of CDC yesterday are not going to be the same people you saw today. More people, let me tell you one thing. Let me make you understand one thing. There were people in the CDC that some of them felt within themselves that if not them, it should not be any other person. And some of them had a plan that they could do better than George Weah. So they played the role of David's son, Absalom, against his father David, to set the council against his father. So for every time, they would want to set the masses against George Weah. And we have not even gone far. Some of them have started to show themselves out of their own greed. Some of them have started to break away. Today, some of them are declaring themselves as presidential aspirants, break away from the CDC. So the process of recalibrating comes in so many folds. Conscientiously, some of them have been set aside, while our internal system is working on some of those things. Beyond that, CDC came to power with so many young people. And the exuberance of these people, it was some of them first time sensing power. Maturity was below standard. And some of them felt that power was going to be for eternity. Brother, you did religion. During those days when kings were appointed, there was a guy that was always appointed behind it. His function was to stand behind the king. And the only thing you say to the king is, Etat Adam. Etat Adam, Lord Elohim. Etat Adam, Lord Elohim. Meaning, you are a man. You are not God. You are a man. You are not God. Because sometimes people assume power and feel to themselves that they are God. There are people within cities that felt that there won't have been a day like today. So they all acted. They all acted. So now I can tell you that most of them have graduated from that stage. Most of them have been transformed. Their minds have been renewed. Come 2029, there's going to be a mature CDC. There's going to be a CDC that's going to put Liberia on the best trajectory. Best of all, my interest is Nima. Let's come home. I have won a CDC that will change Nima from a town to a city. From a city to an emperor. And that's what I felt CDC was doing. And I see no other government in Liberia that can do that except the CDC. And that's what I'm hoping. That come 2029, people like you, conscious-minded embodiment like you, will rally your support and put Nima first, beyond your ego, beyond your sentiment, beyond your relationship with anybody else. And understand that Nima is our common denominator. We are not after sentiment but result. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shadrach. And
So,
thank you
Jion,
to
I know you're going to, Jion, you hearing me? I know you're going to Lorena to ask, but there's a question from Anthony Sonda GPA. And she just said I should ask Shadrach, there's a calling upon you. So you want to announce the calling, because that's the only question she sent me. She said, ask the guest about the calling upon him that he need to implement. What is that calling?
Oh, I want to start. No, yeah, I want to first just salute my sister. Sonda is my sister, and she's one of those Nimbadan that I really love. Because if you are checking 5 female from Nimba, I'm saying 5 that are vision bearer, you can never leave her out. I can say that without fear. Yeah. So coming to my calling, my brother didn't know that we grew up in the Baptist church, and I studied theology. Okay, you know, in Isaiah it says, "Unto us his son is given, the government shall be upon his shoulder." Okay, so let's just stop to the government shall be upon his shoulder. So there is no way you can deviate politics from Christianity. Okay, so I am a clergyman, and there is nobody that is certified or qualified to preach politics more than a preacher man, because the government shall be upon his shoulder. The Bible says when the righteous ruled, the people rejoice. But there is chaos, there is death when the evil ruled. So let's progress. So my sister, my calling is been diversified. But in everything I'm doing, I put God first.
Were you a member of Georgia Church?
No.
We're not taking it away.
I wasn't a member. Okay. I wasn't a member. I'm now a member. I wasn't a member. Yeah. I grew up in the Baptist church.
Go ahead.
And I'm presently within the Harvest Baptist or the Harvest Continental.
Good evening to everyone on the panel. Good evening to our guests. And a special good evening to one of my junior brothers, Paul Way. And to the people of Tapeta District who are following us, want to say good evening, the people of Buyao. And to everyone else that is watching from Facebook or YouTube, good evening, and thanks for always following the BKS TV. It's nice to know that the guest is my Harvest brother. I'm from Harvest Doison. So it's
Okay,
nice
it's a
seeing you.
pleasure.
And in harvest, the
Okay,
fruit of the spirit is our symbol we speak to, regardless of political connection. So I expect that everything
sentiment.
that you have said tonight that is not truth, you will come out to say they want for their Allah. Because we are harvesters, we
Yeah,
speak the truth. Okay, so
sure.
I don't have a question to ask, but I would like to erect checkpoints on some of the things that our fellow harvester has said. So you spoke of the
Okay,
GW Harley Hospital being one of the development carried out by former President Weah. And that hospital does not look the hospital that is being even in the 20th century. And for the people of Nima to know and the people of Liberia to know, it was not built by George Weah either. It is being built by Arsenal Metal. And that hospital, if it were under a responsible government, they wouldn't have even approved that design. It doesn't look like a hospital to be built in Seneca. And then you talk about during former President Weah time, there was free school fee, and now people are paying school fee. Nothing has changed as it comes to the fees. In all the now university outside of Maserati, they are still paying for registration fees as it was done during the past 6 years, including the university in Magibi and the University of Liberia. Every public university remain the same. I know that because most often escort that are working to places as it comes to meeting of universities. So nothing has changed. And the wax fees in 2024 and in 2025, these are 2 years that the United Party-led government have been in power, and then people have taken wax. The government still paid the fees for wax. So I want you to know that information wasn't true on your part. And then you also talk about Nima voted and expected a lot. Yes, it is true that with our son, our brother being the running mate of Ambassador Bouaka, we anticipated a lot. So did we get everything that we wanted or we anticipated? No. Did we get appointments that are more than what we got with one PYJ said we should support George Weah, and as usual, Nima followed and supported George Weah. We got good number. Personally, we have 2 ministers in the government, not just any minister like post and telecommunication. Then we got 2 real good ministers. We got 6 deputy ministers.
You
We
looking at a
got,
list? Lorena, you got a
yes,
list that
he
you're
was
looking at?
writing, I was making my notes. I'm a
Oh,
student
okay.
of research. So when he was writing, I was
I
making my
send you a
notes so I don't
list.
forget. So he yeah, that my own here right here, look at it. Every show I ever attend on this platform, I can make notes. That's how I looking there. And so we got 2 executive directors from Nima. We got 6 deputy directors, and we got a lot of assistant ministers. Are we satisfied? As human beings, we are not satisfied. Do we need more? Yes, we need more because there are a lot of other qualified Nigerians that can fit in any sector, so we still need more. However, the president has done us well, that he has our brother and sister. It may not be you, it may not be me, but these are Nigerians who also supported the cause of having Ambassador Bouaka as the president today. And I want you to know when you talk about Deputy Minister of Rape and nothing has been done with it. You know the difference between seditions and people who support the rescue mission, because a lot of UPS is that we speak truth to power. We do not have the truth because we either waiting for appointment or because we have been appointed. When Kimanya, the former foreign minister, sexually harassed a Liberian lady, Miss Cummings in the U.S., and the case came up, instead of former president, we are taking action as the president who said he's a he for she. Instead, he brought in as foreign minister. The case was been on over and over. People raised alarm, Liberian women talk, the lady was on Facebook. And one day, there was never a day that former president we are said, you have to step aside or I'm suspending you till you go through the case. He did not do it. While I have spoken against the way Gregory Comer is proceeding with the alleged rape case involving Brian McGill, I want you to know that President Bouaka, unlike former President Weah, suspended this individual. In fact, there is one Alfonso Beda now who is acting in his place. So that's a difference with President Weah and President Bouaka. And you also talk about the road project. You all know that most of the road that is being built now, the funding was secured from Unity Party under Madam Sirleaf when President Bouaka was vice president. You all know that. So it's not like the funding was all secured by the former president. And you also talk about his project, he building on the highway that he started before he became president. When he was senator, this project, nobody heard about that project, and it was never being built because there are people who are around there, who live around there, who know that that project was never built. Yes, the land was secured before he became president. Did he start a project? No. Immediately he started. So I want you to know that it's good. We can support our political party. And one of the things that defeated CDC is that seeing white and telling the president, say, no, don't a white, but we can make it to be green. That you need to speak truth to power. You also talk, this will be my last point of that Onya from Enfield being dismissed and brought or Lufin. That Onya is not from Nimba. And even if you are from Nimba, if he did something that the president think, wherever he going, he will go. He works at the will like any other person at the will and pleasure of the government. That Onya is from River G. He's under because myself, one time when he did that when he invented that test case in America, I made a post. I actually thought he was from Nimba during the Ebola time. Was it Ebola COVID? And I made a post because we have been friends on Facebook for a long time. And he inboxed me. He said, thank you on the post. He said, thank you. He said, thank you on the post. He said, thank you. I'm hearing myself. I don't know. He said, I'm not from Nimba. So he's not from Nimba. I know Nimba. So he's not from Nimba. I know Nimba. Somebody need to mute that mic.
So I want you to be brief so I can be able to read everything you have said.
So if I ask question, I will use the same length for answer because I don't want to ask question like we give me a political answer. I just decided to erect this checkpoint against what you have said to let you know that no university is paying fees, no government university is paying fees. They are still doing the same registration that is being used for administrative reasons. And the issue of PYJ school. PYJ school was never a government school. It has never been. PYJ school only received support from the government, which was also received last year. Just before his passing, he received that same money. I sat in the office with that one carrier when PYJ called him about the money, what he intended to do, and he divided the money into 3 portions. I can't explain everything yet, but I want you to know that the issue of the school not being running now is because PYJ, beside the money that were coming in, he showed up most of the responsibility of the school himself. And now the only person who could start and step in to is the madam. And when the madam said there is no money in the cover or whatever, that's why all the suggestions around how the school should be, should run going forward have come forth. Like taking it as Nima University PYJ campus, and then which means Nima University funding from government will increase.
Funding from government will increase.
These are all suggestions that have been made, but it is left with Mistress Johnson and the children whose name are on the document to go back to that other family to come out and agree. So I want us to be correct. Though we want to propagate for our party, our favorite political party. For me, I'm not a partisan or any party, but we must also speak the fact. Thank you very much, my fellow harvester.
So,
Thank you so much,
Lorena, I wanted
Lorena.
to ask you, Lorena, I want to ask you, you spoke about
No,
Joshua project.
let me respond to Lorena. I beg you, D. Let me respond to Lorena before you can. I won't forget.
Yeah, Shadrach and Camille. Lorena, you spoke about Joshua project on Rawafi Highway. Can you speak about the project in Lofa, in Foya?
Okay, so like I said, the difference between supporter of George Weah and CDC, with we who most of us who support the rescue mission is we don't see a green and say it is yellow because we are awaiting appointment or we have been appointed. So there's a project ongoing in Lofa, which Deputy Minister Sano has said it was from MRU, and I have found that it's not being funded by MRU, and then the press secretary came up with her own statement. But the fact of the matter is, there is a project ongoing in Lofa and in Foya district, and it is said to be around 5,000. And I think the uptake is bad. The fact that
Are you saying 5,000 or 5 million?
5 million, I'm sorry, around 5 million. The uptake is bad because the government, whether it lays or GSA, whoever did not communicate with the Liberian people, that there will be this presidential palace built for the presidency, not President Bouaka, now, but for the presidency, no communication or such was sent. And I also have gathered that President Bouaka does not know about that project. Does not know, he did not give a consent. It was somebody who tried to impress him to give favor. So I would tell you, as a supporter of the rescue mission, that it's very, very unfair to the Liberian people, because I was even shocked that the Minister of State Destiny during a confirmation hearing said they don't ask him, said he does not know about that project. So the various answers are coming out from people within the presidency, because the president is not just one, the president is not just one person. All the people are running the marshal. The various answer coming down to the government spokesperson makes the uptake bad, makes it a little suspicious. But I will also tell you that it is even far better that they have come out to say, oh yes, the government, they being this, they being supported by the government, whatever, for the presidency, not GMB now, that they say any other body president can use it. They didn't say that. So that's the one that makes it bad. So as a rescuer, I would say that was bad. I'm not a sedition. I would say they started being a project in 2012. I would not and never say that.
Thank
yes.
you. Thank you. Shadrach, you can respond to that. We've gone 2 hours with you here. I know you got some busy engagement. Respond to that. We can get your part.
No, brother. Once it comes to Nima, I'm available.
Okay.
Once it is about Nima, I'm available. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I hope my other sister is on, because yeah.
Now, Lorena, if you're there, you can come on camera, please.
Lorena, please come on camera. So I just want to address everything she said.
I'm here.
Okay, very good. Lorena, I think you agree with everything I said, but you just want to maybe go around and so forth. If George Weah administration sees that because of the locomotion of the train near the G. Derry Harding Hospital is too much, and McGill and other people communicate with Mental Steel that, look, you have to do XYZ for the county, then superintendent for what was Mike Blinwon position?
County inspector.
Oh God. County inspector, very good. So Mike Blinwon was on that committee, okay, along with the soup, Nelson Coco and other people. when they came to the mansion and the communication was sent to Mental Steel to provide the funding for that hospital. So it was left with the architect and the engineer to formulate what they wanted. So if the government gave Mental Steel the go ahead to do that, so will you say that the Mental Steel did it, not government? Now, my sister, this is how government works. Anything that was done under the influence of the government is attributed to the government. George Weah left from here, he went to the United Emirates. They came and spent over millions of dollars to build the 100-bedroom hospital in Gbapodu. That was not Liberian taxpayer money, but we attributed it to this government. When we say it wasn't built by the Liberian government during George Weah regime, no. So just to let you know, that project, okay, is alluded to President George Weah. Number one. Number two, you mentioned that up to now, public universities are free, and so thank God we are on a public platform. My very panelists can be the judge. There is no public university. I just paid my daughter university fee in UL. Okay, this is her second year in UL.
Shadrach, I beg you, let me hold you there quickly. Shadrach, I beg you, let me hold you there quickly. We have this breaking news, an unfortunate one. This evening, a man killed his wife in your Butu town, and according to information, police have arrested this person and sent him to the Bang police station. But currently, some of the citizens from the nearby town are currently in your Butu and burning down houses. So if the LMP is listening to us tonight, or the PSU listening to us, they need their help in your Butu town currently. According to information that we've gathered, citizens are currently running away from the town because houses are being burned. So if the PSU, LMP, immigration, any other authority listening to us now, your presence is needed in your Butu, in your Gomable town immediately. Go ahead, Shadrach.
Okay. So it is very unfortunate, and I pray that God already intervene. So, okay, so there is no, the panelists on this show can serve as the witness to what I'm saying, whether it is false or true. There is no public university now that is free. I got 2 persons within the University of Liberia. Okay? And I just paid their tuition. So nobody should say it is free. It is never free. So if one guy told you it is free, you have to revisit him and find out which one is free. We don't even need to go behind the closet to find evidence for what I'm saying, whether it is true or not. That I won. Number 2, you mentioned about George Weah housing project. In as much as you agree with me that the land was purchased before he came to power, how does a building project start? A project starts by securing the land. Okay. So George Weah started that project before he came to power. You have alluded to the fact that the land was bought before he came to power. So were you there? Did you know how many preparations was made on that land?
I said you might have. I didn't say you bought it. I said you might have. That English I spoke.
Okay, so the fact that you are dangling, meaning you are not consistent with your information. So let's go fast to what I'm saying, because I am sure of my information. Okay, I am sure of my information. I'm not suffering from certainty. I'm not using might. I'm using a direct verb. Okay, he bought the land. He secured those property. The process started before he came to power. And the evidences are there. So that is unarguable. Then we come to the issue you spoke of, Nima having deputy minister, 2 real minister, and other things. And also, it was surprising to know that during George Weah time, C. Mark Doyen, he was the head of forestry development. Okay, see what comes from the scene tapetale. Okay, you have post and telecommunication. Okay, he came from Nima. You have the chief of staff, Quincy Johnson. He came from Nima. You had the Toronto Bay. She was the head of the disabled in Liberia. She came from Nima. All those people I'm naming, those are people that were at, the echelon of power to the first level in their various entities. So I've just named all three. The CIMA Doyen, Post and Telecommunication, the chief of staff of the Armed Forces of Liberia, the Toronto Bay. Okay, and then you come to deputy ministers. Okay, you have Gonta from Lens and Mans. You have Annie Kwame from Post and Telecommunication, from Youth and Sport. Okay, so the numbers are huge. But what I want you to understand, what are the return in terms of infrastructure that Nima is benefiting for everything you need. During George Weah regime, you came, you say, except you say you don't want to believe your minister for public works. The minister for public works made you to understand that all these road projects were paid in full by the George Weah administration. Then you want to cajole us that it was paid during any administration? That's discrepancy. That's disparity within your communication system. Because the one that controls the public works system of Liberia says to you that those projects were secured, they were purchased, they were paid for in full. They were, okay, during the George Weah administration. Then you saying any administration. So who do we believe? So your statement is more than the public works minister. So I stay to understand that. And you do Nima a great dishonest when you say Nya. Nya that I know very well, that here from district number 9, that you will tell me that Nya come from River Cess. That you, my harvest sister, will tell me that Nya come from River Cess. Before Nya was dismissed, I personally communicated with Nya. Nya did not commit any crime within that entity. Nya was not dismissed because he said the truth. I challenge you, my harvest sister, to point out one corruption, to point out one lapse within the functionality of Nya that contributed to his dismissal. Just one. You say when you do run the president get a right to sack him, what was the wrong? I challenge you to the letter. Just point out one single one. Okay? Nya was unjustly dismissed because they wanted to bring a Lothian within that position. What is about the truth that we can say? That you will come today to say Nya from River Cess. Okay? Nya is not from River Cess. Okay? And then you came up, I don't know what the next issue you mentioned about moderator, sorry, if I forget something, you can just bring me to track most of what she said. Yeah. So yeah. So everything
I think you got touched everything already. And
she talked the project Lofa. She talked the project Lofa.
Very good. Okay. Your government is saying the Daniel Sanon. So you didn't speak like my harvest sister. I want you to come back online, says Lord. You didn't speak like my harvest sister. Because the virtue and outcome that hold us together is the virtue of truthfulness. Daniel Salon, who works with the minister, let's say with the Ministry of Information, says to us that the project worth over 10 million. That the project worth over 10 million, then you can say 5 million. That deception is false and misleading. Okay? The deputy minister of state come and say the project worth over 10 million. Then you sit in Sunny Kole where I don't know what you do in your research, you come and say the project worth 5 million. That's deception in capital letter. Okay, that deception. That deception. Yes, we appreciate everything that that Bwaka is doing, but we are using competitive analysis. Okay, what is the benefit to Nima on Bwaka as compared to the benefit of Nima on George Weah. Okay, yesterday you appointed Shadrach as MDA director. I will die and go. What benefit it brings to Nima? Did I construct school in Nima? George Weah has built school in Ban. I expect you to tell me say that lie. George Weah didn't build school in Ban. I expect you to tell me say George Weah didn't build hospital in Biendoru. I expect you to tell me say that lie. George Weah didn't build bridge in Pabli.
Shadrach, I'm begging you. We have to give this information again because it keeps escalating.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah, they just call us reporting that the citizens allegedly from Goma Play are currently in Butuo and they are shooting some live ammunition in Butuo currently at people in our houses. People are sleeping and bullets are entering on them. So if the police listening to us currently, a lady by the name of Deputy Bia was allegedly murdered by her husband, Dinkawa Koman. And he was arrested this evening, taken to Ban. But citizens from Goma Play allegedly in Butuo lighting fire on houses and also disseminating or displaying live ammunition there in your Butuo. And the citizens there are panicking. Some people are escaping. So if the Liberia National Police listening to us, or the police support unit, or the immigration, and all the other regulatory authority listening to us, your presence is currently needed in your Butuo town. Thank you. Go ahead, Chief.
Shadrach,
Yeah,
I bet you, John. I just want to say something or add something to the discussion. It has to do with Dr. Chris Yang, Dr. Dugbe Chris Yang.
Yes.
Now, the source of this information is Wikipedia. Dr. Dugbe Chris Yang is from Magibi County in Liberia. He is a permanent medical doctor and a biomedical research scientist known for his contributions to infectious disease research and public health. That's just the opening of it. When you check his profile on Wikipedia, he's a permanent Liberia scientist who hails from Magibi County in Liberia. So Wikipedia is saying he's not from Nimba. Now, I just gave you the source. That's not my information. What he may have told you will be different. What he may have told says Lorena it could be different. But when you check his profile, he's a permanent, scientist, well renowned for his contribution to the world of science. So it's obvious that you will find information on here. So this is what Wikipedia say. I just want to add it to your discussion.
Okay, so thank you. So when it comes to information on Wikipedia, Google, and other places, they were placed there by the same human being. But it is also important to understand that most often, when it comes to setting, because you will not see me as Gongenduo. Okay, Gongenduo. So the fact that I was born in Monrovia, I grew up in Monrovia, and I did everything about me in Monrovia, my schooling, everything. So one may assume that I hail from Monrovia. But I am saying that from my personal interaction with Nya, okay, Nya is the name of the second male from Nima. Okay, the second male child from Nima from the Mana language is Nya. There is no county. Bon county is the only county that is associated with Nima when it comes to tradition. Bon county only use Kona, okay, and other people, but no Bon county person use Nya. Okay, talk less of Magibi. So I am telling you that my personal interaction with Nya, he says to me that he hails from Nima, which is evidenced by his name, regardless of why he's cool and other things. Now she said he came from Rosas. Okay. So the name set you and I in the right position to believe it or not. They are not saying Nya Jeffrey, or they are not saying Jeffrey or Hunter, or is Nya, N-Y-A-N. And that's the spelling that he's carrying. Okay, if the spelling was Y-A-N, you could say Nya. Maybe it could sound homophonetic. Okay, they have the same pronunciation, they have the same sound. Okay, but the spellings are different. You get me? So you come to deduce that this Nya is from different place also. Okay? But once you hear the word Gongenduo, that's my original name, Gongenduo. You know that I'm from Nima. If somebody tell you, say, I was natural from this place or any other era, you know that originally I'm from Nima. So that should not be a long discussion. So Nya Hyo from Nima. If Wikipedia was not made in Liberia, if Wikipedia, the people from who invented Wikipedia, they didn't even know where to get Nima Kante. People just transported those informations there. Okay. So let's do away with that. But the understanding of you and I with respect to his name, Nya, the nomenclature suggests where he's from. I don't even need to dangle on that. And then she came out to talk about Prince PYJ University. Okay? That PYJ University, because I don't know what my Harvard sister really tried to justify. So she want to justify that PYJ University is not closed. So if the same subsidies that were being received during George Weah time, if the same subsidies that being received during Baka time, then why is the university closed? Then why are we thinking of selling the legacy of Senator Johnson? Okay? Just for you to be informed, as the one you're talking about, the PYJ University received over 400,000 US for its operation under George Weah administration every year. Beyond that, there was some personal benevolent and philanthropist hand that was left from George Weah to PYJ on the running of that university because of the love he had for the university. The university operated without a vice president coming from Nima. But now we have a vice president and university closed down. Then you want to justify it? Justice is fled to brutish beast. We should not allow those things to happen. Let us say the fact. Okay? For once. The university is closed because there is no support. So during George Weah time, the magic you are performing. Okay? You talk about deputy minister, deputy this, deputy that. What is the dividend that Nima is producing? Even Baka put 10 ministers there. How many new roles? How many new roles do we have in Nima that Baka has constructed? How many new high schools that this administration has constructed? How many clinics? You know. How many housing units? I can tell you 100 housing units that Joshua built in Nima. I can tell you about the high school in Ban. I can tell you about the bridge in Pabli. I can tell you about so many things, but name one project. So, man, if you read my Harvard sister, that put the truth to where it belongs. Okay? So you were away when I was speaking. The LOFA project, just to have you informed, that project is more than 10 million. And if you study the investment climate of Liberia, any project that exceeds 10 million should pass through the legislature. Was that project vetted through the legislature? No. Any investment project in the Republic of Liberia that exceeds 10 million should pass through the host of elders. So every information I gave you tonight is right. There is nothing that I'm bashing. So everything you say, okay, it came with cloud. Yeah. So I pause there. As a moderator,
Thank you.
it's very
Thank you
unfortunate.
so.
I'm on this show. I'm on this show tonight, but my heart is bleeding from the information coming from Booyah because that's mine. I'm a matter of yeah.
It's bad. It's really terrible, and I don't think we as citizens of Liberia should be involved with those kind of things. If somebody is alleged to a crime and that person is arrested, I don't think we should go forward by carrying on any other violent act. What is happening in Butu that we are hearing tonight is terrible, it's bad. The presence of the Liberia National Police and the police support unit is currently needed in that town to calm situation down. It's bad. So if they're listening to us right now, they should go there immediately to see how best they can calm situation down. But again, Mr. Shadrach, it has been a wonderful conversation with you tonight. I mean,
Thank you.
You actually your best. You disseminated the information, and it was okay. It was great. As always on the show, before we take leave of our panelists, maybe we ask one or two. Our guests, we ask one or two panelists if they have any rebuttal to your conversation. They will do it. Then we let you go. We stay for our post analysis. Bertrand Maverson, anything on the floor?
Well, thank you. The sad thing is, I tuned into the show, or I joined a little bit late, so I was not privileged to following the starting conversation. But I heard him talk about the GW Hardy Hospital. I don't know where the new one is being built. I want to know if it is being built right at GW Hardy compound, right by the train track. I would like to know because when I was in office as development superintendent for NIMBA, there was some discussion hashed, and we even secure and survey the land for the construction of the hospital, because noise is one of major environmental pollution, and to have such a critical institution that deals with life, many of those in critical position or situation, to have such an entity situated on the path of a train which causes disturbance, we thought that it was right to have the hospital relocated. And after Sekimpa going towards going to Campley way there, our family, willingly donated the parcel of land to the county at the time, and we surveyed it when I was in office, and discussion was hashed with Metel, both by us and the president, for the construction of the GW Halley new compound, and that didn't take effect, or the project did not start. But I think discussion was hashed, agreement was reached, but the cornerstone was not being laid, or it did not start when we left office. Yeah, so I'm wondering if it is the same project or it's a different project. But like Shadra said, I come in, like you said, anything that happened during the epoch of an administration, that administration shares in the glory, which I want to allude to, because if we started all the fine details and the actualization was being made during the regime of the former president, then of course that regime has some, share of the accomplishments, which I want to allude to. So that's the only thing I want to say, not adding or subtracting any much. I just want to know.
Yeah, so you are right. That's just the exact location. Okay, behind Sekimpa, that area. That's where the new building is being constructed. And the dedication, Mike Blewen and other people are part of the dedication. I was there, but I was not part of the administration team of NIMA, so I did not partake within the discussion. But I knew about the arrangement, and Mentor Steve was the one that financed that project, okay, through the instrumentality of former government. So that's the project, the same land there, that's the same area, and a very beautiful hospital now is going on. So that my sister would say that place does not even worth a hospital, it surprised me.
Yeah, because if you ask regional men, they would tell you, I personally received that land on behalf of the government of Liberia and the people of Nima, thank the family, and remain there mandated the county inspector, then regional men, to ensure that the land is surveyed and deeded, which we did. And then from there, when Honorable Fadi Dokupo, Manashe and I went to Yekipa, yes, the discussion was hashed and concluded, and Meta still gave us a definite turn that they're going to construct. So we were supposed to prepare the blueprint, then the project can be, so Reggie knows, Dokupo knows.
Yeah,
So it's a shared
that's it.
accomplishment between the Unity Party government, and for the fact that
Yeah,
the actualization of
so
the
that's it.
project was during the regime of the Congress for Democratic Change, I would want to agree also that they should have a share of that accomplishment, because they have to follow up all the
Yeah.
negotiation, conclusively ensuring that government remains continuous as it is or as it should be. So yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay.
so much, Shadrach. Mana Lorena, I think you want to say something, but let's get to Paul. Paul, you can make your little statement from there, and then Mana Lorena. Then we go to Shadrach to make his closing statement for us.
Well, when you read Barbara Killerman's book, it talk about leadership. She's one of the most current author of leadership books. And one of her books she authored said, good leader, bad followers. And I think the CDC experienced that.
Yeah.
It's too early to call. And I also think that the Unity Party is also experiencing similar thing, because if we'll be talking today about construction of a presidential palace that was never procured, it did not go through the PPCC process, it did not pass through legislature, and we are still having that conversation, and whoever constructed it have never been dismissed and sent to court, or there's not an ongoing investigation, then we have a problem. Owing to the fact that we've had a lot of issues go ongoing. If you look at the Brian McGill issue, I personally posted about it on Facebook. Anyone who is accused of rape is a felonious crime, and that person should be incarcerated. But Gregory acted unconstitutionally and against the Penal Code and the Constitution he sought to defend, just because he's a relative of Brian McGill. So if we continue to repeat the mistakes of the past, then we should expect the same thing to happen. The only sad thing about Liberia is we don't have new face, trusted new face in the political arena, other than UP and the CDC. That is the saddest thing that's happening to us. Those who are supposed to take the role of new Liberia are either on the fence or they are scared to speak out. And it's a sad thing, but I hope our country can go beyond this and beyond the experience of CDC. CDC did not do well. Equally so, Unity Party is part of the same party. If we have a country that is still competing on who's going to build a new party headquarters, instead of implementing the reason for which it was elected, then we have a problem. I am a lecturer in international relations, and that's international politics. Everything we read about, we talk about, is contrary. Sometimes you go to class and you want to ask the students, what is our Liberia experience? It's a sad thing. We are slaughtering the rule of law. We are slaughtering democracy. People get to power, leaders. You cannot be a leader and be hateful. I think 2 days ago I said it. Nelson Mandela said it. He went to the restaurant. He saw a man who was the head of the prison. He invited him to sit on the table with him to eat, simply because he knew that a leader cannot carry hate. If we have CDC coming to power and prosecuting those who work in Unity Party government during any time, making sure that they don't work in their government, whether they were technocrats or whether they could contribute, and you have a Unity Party-led government today doing the same thing, then we are heading nowhere. We are still in the same vicious cycle. So, Sadra, your government did not do well, especially those party zealots, like my own man, Jefferson Koji. He's a friend of mine. We talked to the elections, and they didn't do well for the CDC. And today we have some folks still in the UP. I'm not talking about St. Lorena. I follow St. Lorena post. She and a few other people who are still saying the truth. I was there in this country. I used to see Melvin Yelu post. One time I call him, I say, come here, you got to slow down. When you get into government as a young person or any role you occupy, your role there is not to defend. I keep recording on 2021. 2021, when I came to school, I came to continue to teach. I can proudly knock my chest today among 130 persons. I was among the first 5 finalists as the most influential lecturer in 5 years because I came here with a plan and I have a vision. So that's what service calls for. Regardless of where you find yourself, you should be able to say the truth and you should be able to serve with everything that you have. So we hope that Liberia can go beyond this. People should stop protecting what they have because nobody have anything. Nobody. Yesterday, there were people who said they were rich and they are no more. Look at Jenkins Scott. He for the dump out before he died. So let's stop defending the wrong. It's sad. It's sad. I've started with the vice president. I've started with a lot of big politicians in Liberia. We've had conversation. Today, look at the issue with Koga and the vice president. On his farm, I asked him question. I asked him, I was direct. And he didn't answer me. Today, just a few months later, look at the situation we are faced with. And people are pretending about it. It's a serious issue that's ongoing. But we are still playing politics with it. Until we can come out of our shell, NIMA cannot be powerful if we don't start with unity and truth telling. I disagree with anybody. I've been in politics for some time, not to bore you with a lot of talk, but I've been in politics, and all those who have supported, I disagree with all of them. I disagree with Malaida Gonglo Ware. I disagree with Bromsky before he died. I disagree with Musa Belete, who is the current representative of District Number 7. I can disagree with anybody any day. I eat no for breakfast because when I support people, I am intentional. As my own people are my first day. He knows we've had disagreement. And because we have to be intentional about what we want for our country and ourselves. Both United Party and CDC, it's too early to say United Party have failed because it's just 2 years. But both political parties are still dwelling on the past. We can't say what was, it's like Synod, Georgia, another Synod different for sinning differently. Both of you are committing the CC, but sinning differently. So I think it's about time.
Mama, we got to close, though.
Yeah, in closing.
So leave your closing statement. Leave that for your closing statement.
No, I think I gotta go because tomorrow is Monday, my person. I got back-to-back classes. So let me just close one time, Gio. So I think it's about time we say truth to power. If you call the vice president today, if I was on media, I would say the same thing I said to him a few months ago. People that are working with you, who you think are not doing well, let them go to school. Get the proper people to do the job. Your office, the outlook of your office should show to the world that you are serious. If you want to be president of Liberia 2 years from now, the outlook of your office should show that you are serious. So, we have to begin these conversations by truth telling, regardless of where we find ourselves, whosoever that is involved. And I want to appreciate this platform for the great work you people are doing. Says Lorraine, I want to appreciate you for always being here as a lone female. And you one person who will always disagree when there's a reason to disagree. Keep it up. Don't let anybody change you for that. Government come and go, but you are leaving a footprint. And those footprints, you see, Mafasi say now in Canada, America today, nobody in the market can say Mafasi was in position. And you listen to Sandra, even a member of CDC, he praised Mafasi. These are ways that we should carry ourselves. But there are people in position today acting like tomorrow they wouldn't come to pass this way again. And it's the same thing that CDC did. Let's not repeat it. You listen to that, he said, they say you people me. Even hello, people me way because they are in government.
And I too.
So
And I too.
it's unfair. It's unfair. Some people don't even call their friends anymore because they have government job. And my public administration teacher used to tell me, a man in government today be working by land tomorrow. So let's put NIMA first, but let's begin with unity and truth telling.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul.
I just want to close on that.
Thank you. I think we've gone above the time. Let's let the guest to give us his parting statement, and we stay for our post analysis. I beg you. Shadrach, thank you for being here tonight. It's been a wonderful conversation with you.
And
we pray that
we have spent all the
shouldn't be the
time.
last time.
And so just thank you.
You always be appearing here.
No, always be available.
Okay,
so like what Paul said is just everything we're doing, brother. We have to be truthful to NIMA and put NIMA first. It's not about me. It's not about Mavacin. It's not even about you, but it's about NIMA. What benefits NIMA? Posterity will judge us tomorrow. Posterity will judge us. Was your decision in the interest of NIMA, or was it for yourself? So I want to say thank you. I'm always available. I want to say thank you to D, the Mavacin, and the rest of the platform panelists. Thank you, and thank you.
Thank you very much for being here tonight, Shadrach. And so, folks, that was the voice of Mr. Shadrach G. Thomas Dwoki, the chairman for WIA 2023. I don't know whether he still holds that position as chairman for WIA 2023 or he has been relieved of his post. But again, he was here tonight speaking to us on NIMA politics, Liberia politics, and also some training developments. As always, we stay to have our post analysis on the show. What do you make of the guest appearance? Let's start with you, Madam Lorena. After you go to Veteran Mavacin, then Grace will take us home.
Okay, so everyone who takes up time to appear on the show, whether they are from a different political party, whether they are from the party we support, I think we should commend them because they should use the 2 or 3 hours to be doing something else. The fact that they will, accept our invite is a great thing. So I want to say thanks to Mr. Dwoki for being with us tonight. And like I would like to borrow from Paul, we should always be able to say the truth, even if the truth is against us, especially in politics, because if something is green and you say, oh, it's yellow because you feel yellow is what people want to hear, they will come back to haunt you tomorrow. And if government schools government universities are resorted to paying fees, I would have said it. And so I don't know what Shadrach is arguing about. Even during the CDC administration, people were still paying fees in NIMA. For people who are doing other courses other than science, they pay $50. And if you're doing the sciences, because you have to do your laboratory fee, it's somewhere around $80 or so. I got students in the University of Liberia, Lofa University, Grand Gita, everywhere, it still remains the same. Nothing has changed about it. And I stand by that because I know it. If you pay your dollar fees, you need to go to the school to ask your daughter to give you ask your daughter to give you the bank slip to make sure that you really the money she took for you was ready for fees. That's what I'd like to say about that. And the issue of what you call PYJ University, it's not a government decision to sell the university or not. The university was it's a private university. It's owned by PYJ, and on the document, got 400 children and his wife's name on the university. And for him to say PYJ University receive $400,000 every year as a government support, I think he meant something else instead of $400,000. Dr. Wankega, I agree to be our guest this week. And so when he come, he will say this, he will be able to answer some of these questions because he had been the co-chair for the board up to the passing of the late PYG. And the issue of WAS, there's nobody paying WAS fee. 2024, people did not pay WAS fee. Even 2025, my daughter is graduating next month. She started WAS, and I didn't pay fees. For the non-federal, the same thing. So maybe Shadrach meant something else, or maybe he thought so. He thought since we are left, it was stopped, but brother, it didn't stop. It still continued. And as I maintain that the building inside there, it doesn't work a hospital in this century. We are talking about that many times in NUP, Nima United for Progress Child, other Nima platform. It does not work being a hospital yet. We give it out to the previous administration under the watch of Mr. David and other people that they procure the land with Nima money and everything. And then, like I said, if it was a very serious government, the blueprint will come from the ministry. That it doesn't look like a hospital. So it can't be that you'll be boasting about why it to say I didn't get mad, but somebody mad. They say me the same. They put the mad in the street, and the other person won't get mad. They said, it still mean the same thing. And so that's the reason why there are plans on the way for a better maternity center hospital in Senegal. I'm not going to talk much about that, but there are plans on the way for the upcoming dry season. And so in regards to Nima Unity, we can be in different political parties, but we can still unite on what affects Nima. We can be in different political parties and still respect each other without attacking people, going to people's personal life. I know people say, yeah, when you public figure, nothing about you is secret, but there are something that are not just necessary. That's why I would like to say. So again, it was a good show as always, and though we had a lot of difficulty last week, I think 3 days in row we are not had show. We're busy with East Africa and stuff, and then the last night Eddie didn't show, or the other night Eddie didn't show up. I hope with this week will be a different week. Yes, so and George Weah started bidding those horses in 2018 when he was already a president. Now in 2014. So they just try to face the story now, but that's it. And like I said, I maintain the project in Lofa, the uptake is not good because it didn't go through any process that government construction usually go through. So I maintain the uptake is not good, and they need to come. I think I even posted about it before my page. Now I think I posted about it. I say with the different information coming from the deputy minister of information, the press secretary, the deputy minister of state, they need to sit down on one table and tell the Liberian people what really that project is. I said it before. So I'm not one of those who say, oh, I want jobs. So that maybe talking, the means say agree is black. I will never do that because I know how to work for myself. I got 5 Liberian that I'm paying. So I'm helping the government, I'm an employer. But so when they do bad, I will say, but I will also say the good thing when they do it, Brother Shadrach. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
you. 80%, so just in case, maybe I'll go up, but if it end the show with me, it'll be fine.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Madam Lorena. Veteran Mavelson, let's hear you, Chief.
All right. Thank you. I would say, thanks to Shadrach. He did an excellent job. His presentation was okay as he want to present his party. I mean, that was good. But like Paul said, one of the things he said I want to start with is citing that we don't have an alternative political institution that will come with fresh ideas, when it comes to transforming Liberia. I mean, it's sad that, when you look at the youth population of Liberia, based on our census reports, The youth constitute the vast majority of the country's population, which in a way should be celebrated as an opportunity for Liberia. But sadly, the youth has been corrupted by the political system and has gotten us to a point where whoever is in power is celebrated. Whatever wrong whoever is in power does is considered right. No one has the, moral preparedness to speak truth to power. And it is so because we've made government to be the only employing entities in Liberia, and for the fact that everybody wants job for their own self-development. Everyone wants to, play that blind loyalist role, and that is hurting the growth and development of our country. We hope that we'll get to a point where people will be looked in their faces and the wrong will be told as wrong. Because deciding, I just don't want to speak for Joe Boakai, but the Manasali's administration was quite a bit different. I remember I wrote countless number of articles against the government, and yet still I was given a job to do. But today, if you were to speak truth from a real truthful standpoint, you become an enemy of the system, and it will start with your own NIMA. People will brand you as not being supportive to the county's agenda and all of that, which in a way I still stand to understand, because NIMA did not sign any contract with anybody to define the agenda that NIMA should portray. But those of us on the Unity Party, it is in our best interest. We want a continuation of power, but that got to be the way to say it, and people should brave themselves to stand up and say the truth. That's the only thing that will help us build a better Liberia. Because look at the proliferation of political parties in the country. It tells that politics is the only way out. So those who come and serve, they don't want to leave power. They go back and form or formulate a political grouping. They know that that grouping lacks the moral and the political rectitude to do anything significant, but they're going to group and jump behind their own kind of person. And then in the end, they all become a party to sharing government position. And I don't see how far Liberia can go in terms of getting to a point of being a country to develop, or getting a point to be a country that will utilize the youthful potential of the country. We pray that there should be a change. There should be a change to that. We should be able to build a vibrant youth system that will be premised on the basis of contribution, on the basis of nationalism, on the basis of patriotism, to see that Liberia becomes better. We should build a system that will promote the private sector, that will widen the employment opportunities. We should promote a system that will develop the skills of our young people and make them employable to be able to stand up for the job market. If we fail to do that, and we continue to play lip service with governance, the real issue will remain at stake, will remain, unaddressed, and the country will continue to plummet in a negative way. But again, to come and justify CDC of all political parties and the moral ineptness of the arrowhead, George Weah, to being the one to come and take the hand of authority, even if the unity party should fail. I will personally see that as one of the greatest disservice to our country, to our young people, to our population, and to the governance of our country, because it means, we will be putting Liberia in a reverse gear. Instead of going forward, you put a driver that will put the country in a reverse gear that will go backward. So we should think of alternatives, or we should keep the pressure on the current system to make sure that the best thing is done. There are some positive things about the Unity Party, and one of which has to do with our own ability to speak truth to the system we created. Never in the governance of the Congress of Democratic Change, never would you see any members of the Unity Party, any hierarchy, any official who will stand out to speak or who will write a piece, advancing ideas and solutions and noting the misrule, and that person remains in the employ of the CDC. Never. But at least we have records to that. I had several of articles in the front page Africa. Several, not one, not two. But yet I work in the Unity Party government as an appointed official. And I see that about the Unity Party. Because if you see right now, most of the people that are calling the government to vote on the project that is in Lofa are Unity Party partisans. And so it's a good way. It's a good leadership mechanism, because people should be free to say it as they see it. That's the beauty of politics. That's the beauty of governance. That's the beauty of the Information Act. They should not keep everything under a tight rule. So it was quite a good discussion. I'm sorry that I haven't been quite too well, and because of health issue, I've not been able to be on the show. I have flu a certain time, then 2A again, and the pain was so severe I could not appear for almost 3 weeks to a month. I've never even been to work, but at least I'm getting better. I'm getting back my voice, and I will show that I will always be here. So to Lorena, D, Jim, Alfonso, every member of the platform who have been there, making sure that our repertorial responsibility is being upheld. I want to give it up to you. It was a good show, good day. We look forward to what tomorrow has to bring. Thank you. And to close up, the land that the GW Hardy Hospital is being built on was not procured by NIMA's money. It was a family, I've forgotten the family name, that donated. Family people just giving willingly. So I will speak with Reggie, who was the county inspector then, or Superintendent David Dog Cooper. Maybe I'll get the name of the family so that the next time we meet, we say it so that NIMA people get to know, so that their family get the credit they deserve, so that when people see them, they should be able to recognize them for their goodwill to NIMA. We did not buy it with NIMA's money. It was willed to Nima County by a Nimbanian. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. My brother Chris, we've gone above our time. Please take us home in 2 minutes. I beg you, Chief.
Thank you. I will just summarize. I know the veteran has said a lot. Firstly, the issue that will do a project in Lofa. The government, no government official are fair enough, brave enough to condemn that issue. Those who condemn it are people who outside the government, who haven't been appointed. But no government official in the government are taking a 2,500 every money account or to condemn that project. Somebody talk about the older president where and say, like, talk about, hey, is that true? President Bola knows about that project. He knows what's going on. So nobody will come to the platform and tell Liberians people That what going on over someone do it, to impress the president. Now, well, not true. President Barker is aware of that President Lofa. He knows about it. He been seeing the articles in newspaper. So nobody will say President Barker is not aware of that President Lofa. It's not true. He's aware. But again, they find a way out how to defend it. They find a way out. They look at the loopholes. So it's sort of frustrating on that. And the next thing is the issue that I have to do with comparing the St. Laurent about comparing my gay issue in America here with issue in Liberia. My gay issue was it wasn't a rape issue. It was such an abuse. They didn't say my gay test her in the office. That was issue with my gay in America here. And the committee people that went through that case. Even the American Liberian committee in America were also on that committee. How will you compare that with rape issue in Liberia with a 14-year-old girl? How will you compare that? It's so frustrating that comparing rape issue in Liberia with former foreign affairs minister migration in America here, they baffle me. They don't want to defend it. They don't do comparison. They baffle me. So there's no comparison between my gay issue in America with access to abuse than the 14-year-old rape issue in Liberia. There's no comparison.
Kimuya, not my girl. Kimuya, sexual harassment case. Kimuya.
Yeah, thank you for that. Kimuya issue. So there's no comparison. There's no do that comparison about, what happened in America and that's the abuse issue with rape issue of 40 years in Liberia. How would you do that comparison? There's no comparison in that issue. Abuse, so that'd be a different rape issue. It's different. And then they get went to hospital, you were tested. And the medical people said it. So a 10 men over. So you want to compare with such an abuse issue? You want to compare that? It's baffling me a level. I will not talk about that. But I talk about the people that run the VP. They're not qualified. They need to go to school. I'm a voice for that. People that run a VP to this understood degree that brought this drill Nima. They should be a runner VP right now. We gotta be real. We gotta be real. That's good. That you there, but I didn't know that should be a runner VP. Why we can't say the truth? But they want to come here to play on this platform. You know that was this drill to Nima Kade? Down there we would down with a partnership and you know about Nima. They use the ID no more. They want to sit on the platform and talk about all this. I don't think it's right. We'll say it. But I'm not going to talk about outside we'll say the fact. You should be around the VP Palestine. But again, that's a Liberia. It's Liberia. It's a different country on the continent, on the planet. And the next year, Nima United. He said a very good point. No matter our political location or our political ideology, any political party will be this way. That put Nima first. There are things I may observe in this regime. That people who support the United Party government or the VP are become enemy to Nima. They have been printed that way. It's wrong. It's wrong. We not photo ever subscribe to the VP ideology, United ideology. But today, if you not support the VP Nima, they put enemy on the country. They play with names. They insult you. That thing is wrong. That thing is wrong. That's the real issue today. Say Laurent said real issue on the United government. When the Minister of Public Works sat on OKFN and said all the procurement of those city regime.
I think some of the money was secure. I didn't say all the road.
Which a road project was secure. That's when the counter to grant it. It wasn't true. It was only highlighted by Eddie, but there was no procurement of that money was secure. So we should start giving information that is not correct to the public. The road for Ganta that going to Southeast, Eddie only highlighted World Bank. There was no money secure for it. And even when they're out there, and people are saying that we're someone in the country, I think you can also speak to that. There are no money secure for that road for Ghana to grant here. But people come on the platform and say a lot of things. I'm not CC had a license. They want to print what happened yesterday, they were wrong yesterday, they want to do it today as Dima does. It's wrong on the government, but they want to defend it or print it different. When we were wrong yesterday, that be wrong today. It should be wrong yesterday, they want to print out easier today. It's wrong. And my last point, without leave Gio, my last point is this issue. I will say this. I know people don't let you hear it. Any regime, I've said, it was 10 times better than the United Party government. The UP government, 10 times better than the UP government we today. The UP government are criminals and notorious and looters. They particularly United Party government now on the border. They are criminal looters. And we'll say, hey, and the evidence are out there. 10 million plus project to low for where? What am I coming from? My minister to the very for so kind of content yesterday. So these are things that they say yesterday were wrong yesterday. Do not see government. And all around that today, that doesn't say thing go. And pretty much say because we're not going around again. Their own senator of Africa said they put it with me. And pretty much say the money because we're not going out again. Because they are taking the money into their own selves. How many Liberians benefit today? They go will bear hungers. How many Liberians today can feed themselves? They said yesterday, Baga said, when we now more, not to sell the street. Go to the daily issue and you say report now on Liberia. You say, or you say 50.5 and 0.5% children that out of school in Liberia just yet. It's a record out there. They teaching the face. All the projects that we are highlighted, the kids of power, they're not giving credit for that. We are even in Gata or David spent Gata the school building. One person we have to over Amishiya complex. He went there and get an Eddie knee. And even after Eddie, and call Manasadi, what part of going to get our project? That's government continuity. But that government in the power, the only thing you know, go out the citizen. You bring the poor head color now, what is the Eastern court. After 40 years plus, a party city broke ground. You talk about disaster to break ground. That comparison on now, or you take a leeway example. It's an example, you take a leeway to represent the country. You put in no trouble looters in the system. You know talk about remove that now for no reason. Why the root that now for all today?
Thank you so much, my
again,
brother
Gio,
Chris.
yeah, again, let me say to the people about District 5, what's going on there, we regret it. I hope that police can intervene. Whatsoever have been hurt in that process, who say have been hurt or who lost their life in that process, we say just look up to the government and the government just will be reviewed, just will come to the people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris, and thank you to veteran Matheson Davis and also Mana Lorena Donke. Thank you guys for being here tonight. The C was here, DK was also here, and the rest of the folks were here too tonight. It has been a wonderful show of you people. Tomorrow we'll be here and the guests will be announced in our chat room. Have a pleasant good evening, good afternoon, and good night. Thank you.